What's up, guys? Welcome back. All right, so we are back yet again with another Inkosi Super Cup, another week, another round of matches. And Patchy, I think we're in for quite the show. Once again today, we've got two lobbies to start it off with, of course, and then after this, we're heading up into our best of three once we've got all the teams in. And man, it is looking pretty tough, I must say.
Yeah, always spicy, always spicy. I like to see it, and I mean, I don't really need to say anything. We've seen all we need to see over the last few matches. So I mean, today I expect will be no different. We're going to see some spicy stuff. That's all I'm going to say about that. So hopefully, when we get in there, I am not proven wrong this time.
Yeah, well, we'll hope it's spicy, as you said, and of course, we're waiting to see what this first zone is going to do. Are we going to have that zone moving all the way down towards the south like we haven't seen it do much? Or is it going to, play around in the other regions of the map there? And that is kind of the question of the hour, I guess.
Yeah, it certainly is. Like you say, we've seen some very interesting zones here and there. It's been doing some interesting things lately. It's been very aggressive sometimes, and some of them have been a bit more standard and generic. So as you can see on your screen here, we've got a nice little flight path going up all the way from that northeast position up towards Starba, all the way down, all the way to that Sosnovka military base. So maybe we'll see some teams getting into my favorite spot down there. And of course, the rest of those hotspots will mostly be open. Of course, in Naya, Rozhok, Chinky, all the good places are going to be nice and accessible here. So yeah, I guess that real question really does boil down to where is that zone going to be going?
Yeah, man, we've got quite a selection of teams, of course, in this lobby. As you can see, 15 teams. So we've got the players there from Phoenix Prodigy. We've got the Escapades. We've got the players from the Yeeters in here as well. We've got the Violets. We've got the Outlaws. We've got Empire Gaming. We've got Red Reserve. We've got iRush Reformed. We've got the players from Limit Africa. We got Psychonex, I guess. We got a Hawk. We've got Zamga. We've got Godzilla Esports. We've got Your Killer Is. We've got God Gaming, Static Nation. We've got Moz Crew Fatal, Team Untold, the Four Angry Martians, and then of course the Anarchy Angels. Oh, so quite the lineup with the teams.
Yeah, I like that one. I like Four Angry Martians. That's cool.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun talking about the teams, of course, today, seeing that they've got all these interesting names. And speaking of teams, as you can see, we've got quite a few of them dropping in a very clumped position on this map. We've got several teams moving up into Yasnaya. We've got one or two teams up in over Savoni's area. Then, of course, also we've got those players making their way over towards the Malta Farm area. We've got players heading up in towards the Gatka region there. And then, of course, two teams, from what I can see, also making their push up in towards Primorsk. And nobody up in the Sosnovka military base, unfortunately.
This is very interesting. I think this is the first time that we've seen teams drop on the map almost entirely as 2-2. Two teams bunched up in each spot. Usually you see them try and spread out, but right now, all these teams, they've dropped 2-2 all over the map in all these positions. Yeah. And we're already seeing a couple of fights breaking out. The Angels just taking a couple of pot shots over there. But all of these teams have another team right across from them mostly. So they have some form of resistance. And that does pave the way for a couple of early fights, which is very interesting to see.
Yeah. Going on that 2-2, the song that you were singing. We've got a few of them. A few tunes being played across this map, and we saw our first shots in the kill feed, of course, there going happening there with the Anarchy Angels, and of course then also the team right there with them from Your Killer Is. And we are currently watching the players here from Empire making their way around all the way over in Primorsk, and we have one of we've got their 2-2 right there with them as well, that of course being the players there from God Gaming just over towards the northern side and jumping up into Yasnaya. Yet another 2-2 combination.
Yeah, 2-2 is the tune of the day. But I'm gonna say it right now. All these team names here, the Four Angry Martians. That one's nice because I can remember it. I like team names like that because they're memorable. There's a lot of team names that are just so wacky that I keep making a mistake, and it bothers me.
Well, 4 a.m. is the Four Angry Martians. You can't forget that one.
Yeah, but that one's easier.
22 over here is the players from Team Untold. So their name or their story for now is pretty much untold. We haven't seen them in any of these competitions, but that of course being a team from Mauritius. So some nice representations here from teams all across the region.
Yeah, that's pretty cool to see. That's definitely really nice. I guess these untold players have a time to tell their story. I guess we'll see what that is. If it's that they go out early, it's a bit sad. But if they make up to the top 10, that'd be nice. We'll see how they manage to fare there. We'll see how that story unfolds. Of course, across the map, we still have our paired up teams all over the place. We still have up in Primorsk, of course, God and Emp, as you can see here on your screen, yet to really clash with one another. But the chance is still there. Across the rest of the map, we still have two teams just all over the place. And honestly, that's something that we really haven't seen all too much. Like, usually the teams, as soon as they see that there is another team dropping close by, they'll immediately just veer off of position.
Yeah.
These teams have been quite happy to just, take sort of a more dominant position. Be like, yeah, no, this is our spot. We're dropping here. If you want to drop here too, that's fine. We'll fight you for it. That's cool.
Yeah, showing the confidence the teams are getting there. And of course, looking at that map, you can see the spread with the teams. So you got the Yeeters over there in South George. We also then, of course, have the players there from the Moss Crew Fatal just on the northern side of George there. And we've got a few more teams, as you can see, over in the Yasnaya region. We've got those teams down in Milton. Of course, the teams of the Moskins. We have some shots now, of course, still flying up. The players here from Empire not letting those teams get by just, they're not letting them get by unscathed. It's like, you want to drop with us? It's fine. We are going to shoot you. You know?
I mean,
and
that's
nice.
How you should be.
Yeah, and it's good seeing the confidence here from the teams, where they're saying, oh, cool, we see there's another team with us. We can handle it. We can take it. Both of us, both teams, we won't necessarily have much weapons to start off with. We won't necessarily have the gear or the armor or the loot or whatever the case is that we need or that we are looking for. But hey, you're here, we're here. Let's have a fight.
Yeah. I mean, even if it's a fight that you don't feel like you could win, I say that if you take that fight and you go out fighting, that is an honorable demise.
Yes.
All right. I would take an honorable demise, over anything else. All right. Honorable fighting. That's great. We love that. I like that at least. So.
But an interesting thing to notice though is like looking at the zone. The region north of where we've got these two teams, that whole northern part of the map. From this little bit of a river that we've got just over towards the northwestern side. From that upwards. There's almost no one there. Severny is empty. Shooting range is empty. We've only got teams sitting up in North George. And then, of course, that one team all the way up in Zaki. And no one else in any of the remaining area there. So the Outlaws, all by their lonesome, just chilling there in the corner in Zaki.
I guess that's sort of as a result of that flight path going, from Starboard down to the base. Obviously, a lot of teams scattered across the map. And that zone has dropped all the way to the north, which means that the teams have to rotate up, and usually that takes a little while because the teams don't like to push and rotate without having the loot. So they'll drop in, they'll get the loot, they'll make sure they're sitting ready, which takes a little bit of time. And by the time they're ready to move, most of the teams will be in that same state. And so you see all of the teams starting to eventually make their way up. A lot of teams now moving in. The Angels, as you can see, moving up in towards that zone. There's a couple of teams nearby that might just give them a little bit of trouble, but ultimately most of the teams will just be wanting to make their way into that zone. And of course, we've been talking about how important it is to get into the center to give yourself the best, or say the most economic way of rotating into the next zone, because a lot of people, they try and predict where the zones are going to land, and we've seen how that goes. I've seen how that goes firsthand. Doesn't really work. But if you put yourself in the middle, you give yourself the best chance at being equally distant from the zone regardless of wherever it lands. So we'll see if the teams do get up there and maybe start rotating in.
But we've also seen that plan backfire a little bit. Like if all the teams, if all of them decide at the same time, hey, let's go to the central part of the zone, it becomes quite tough for the team that gets there first. If there's so many teams following suit, it's pretty tough to defend against the remainder of the lobby, everyone pushing up into the same position there. But of course, we'll see now once this blue zone shifts up once again, where it's going to force these teams to, and there we go. All right, so for this, at least for this one, we're not ending up with a big majority of the map being over in the water side, aside from this lovely drop that we've got right there on the side. And yeah, this is in fact where we've seen one of our previous matches come to a very abrupt finish.
yeah, it has happened indeed. But honestly, you know, the thing that we were talking about a little while ago is we were talking about different styles of teams that we see getting played on these maps. And one of the ones that I don't think we've seen for a little while is the sort of, or we've seen it here and there, but it doesn't really get highlighted that much, is the sort of scout, you know, where you have your team and you set yourself up, you get like one or two players of your team to just start moving out and start scouting out the zone. You know, seeing what's going on, you know, before you rotate there. So sort of moving yourself almost like a worm, you know, you put your feet out first, and then before you feel how it is before you inch.
Yeah, well, talking about putting the feelers out, we've got Mr. Wrecked here getting wrecked as the shots start flying in there from your killer is. Well, the answer to that is Zipdog. Zipdog getting a quick hit in right there on the players, and yeah. Down goes God Gaming by one player. They've got 3 more remaining. So let's see what bombs will get done. Maybe we might see a few shots there. That VSS could be pretty potent if used correctly. And I think, yeah, we'll find out in due course what they can pull off with these weapons. But we've got a few more teams now starting to make their rotation up into towards zone. Everyone hitting in. We've got the players, of course, there from Outlaws. They've now rotated up from Zarki, made their push up in towards North George, where we find ourselves with the players from the Moss Crew Fatal right there with them. And now looking over towards the far eastern side of the map, we can see it's a little bit quieter on that region, but we're also just waiting for this potential fight between the players, of course, they're from the Violets and the Anarchy Angels, who we have near the region, the ruins area there.
Yeah. And what I was saying actually about the whole scout thing, because I realized I might have left that a bit open-ended, is that you can you can use that strategy to scout out the positions and try and avoid the clusters. You know, like you were talking about trying to get into the center of the zone. We've seen it where all the teams are just scrambling for the same spot. And if you want to play like big brain as possible, then you might just want to actually scout out the places that you're looking for before you move in. See that it's crowded, choose somewhere else, try and isolate a fight 1v1 against a team. Like, you never want to take a fight against more than one team. So pick one of the teams that's isolated and go in and try and fight them, because that sort of plays into the aggressive style that we've been talking about over all of these seasons so far. That sort of plays into how that you want to see the teams adapt to the game.
Yeah, no, that's true. So we'll just see how this unfolds. You know, maybe some of the strats will come into play. Maybe not. You know, only time will tell.
Probably not. Nobody ever listens to my advice.
Oh, shame.
Yeah, it's a feels bad, man. But what can you do?
So this is you bullying yourself. This is not me bullying you.
Yeah, I mean, somebody's got to do it, right?
Yeah.
Words.
Yep.
Yeah. If you're not going to do it, someone's got to take up the mantle.
Even if it's yourself.
Yeah.
All right, so we see that zone now shifting up once again, right on top of the ruins, where we, of course, have these two teams right here, this being the Violets and the Anarchy Angels just up ahead of them. And we've seen some pretty good shots from both teams, of course, in previous matches. I mean, just waiting to see what they're going to do with the position they've got. And are they going to try and capitalize on that? Because we've got a lot of teams still having to make their push up in towards that zone. And it looks like the two teams here might be going at each other first while they're waiting for the other teams to start making their push in. We're also seeing the 4 Angry Martians there, seeing that, there's 4 of them. They're right next to the players there from the Hawk, as the Hawk is now, of course, just rotating up in towards zone as well. And the Escapades has positioned themselves there in the water town. So we're waiting to see what's going to happen. But in the meantime, we'll have a look at this fight here between the Violets and the Angels.
Yeah, look at all these teams now centralizing in towards that zone. Ooh, there's a lot of them moving in.
Yeah, and Zara putting some great shots there into Tigress. Down goes Tigress. So there we go. The first one down for the Angels. Now let's see what's going to happen. Will we see some more shots here from the Violets? Oh, you got some kills in the kill feed as well now. It's lighting up. That is what we want to see.
Yeah, that's IR moving right behind Angels, by the way.
Yeah, it's the iRush Reformed 2.0. There we go.
Yeah, well, they seem to be rushing up there, putting the Angels in a bit of a pinch as they were trying to take a fight, and now they're getting taken from behind, which is not a great spot to be in. That's going to put them in a bit of a pickle, to be honest, especially considering now that most of these teams are moving in. There are 15 of them, and we're looking at maybe 1.5 kilometers of zone at the moment. So right now where the teams are is very critical, because as soon as the next zone gets chosen, it's going to squish everyone in together, and that's going to make rotation difficult for all these 53 players at the moment. Yeah,
and I mean, rotations, speaking on that, we've got the players from Untold. They're now rotating up. They've just flown past the players there from Hawk that we've still got positioned over in Watertown. And so slowly but surely, these teams are now starting to make their way up in towards the more central part of the zone, hopefully in anticipation for the next zone shift. You know, seeing that the blue zone is in fact closing in, and it should be closed in pretty soon. So now just waiting to see where the zone's going to move to, what it's going to do, and where these teams need to go to.
Yeah, that's exactly what we're waiting for. We're going to see how these players are going to get squished in together. Of course, that will make these teams, will force them to either fight or rotate, which is of course that big decision you got to make. So we'll see how that works. The zone now dropping all the way to the northwest, which is very interesting. That's going to really force all these players up the side, especially since there's a river in their way as well.
Yeah. I mean, some teams are going to go swimming, others are going to go swimming with the fishes, but we'll see which way around it's going to end for who. But in the meantime, Sprinkles getting hit there by Jixer. Rogue Baby coming in with a nice little bit of a reply there in response to the shots. And now we're just waiting to see, are these teams going to try and make their push up in towards zone? And the players, of course, here now from IR moving up bit by bit. iRush, they are in fact rushing. We got Mr. Sanjo trying to move in, put those hits in. Oh, the play zone also claiming a few casualties.
Yeah, that's very interesting. The team seems to be all the way outside, and they didn't even bother. I don't know. That rotate didn't even seem to come in, so they just sort of stuck out there. Maybe they're a bit AFK. Not too sure what the whole thing was there, but ultimately they're going to just let themselves get claimed by the blue zone. In the meantime, the rest of these teams going to have to try and rotate up from the south. You can see all of them sort of being funneled by this whole play area, because on one side they have a river, on the other side they have a bunch of mountains, so they're all sort of just being squished into the same place.
Yeah, right there with a bunch of mountains, as you said. And we'll see now what's going to happen. We can see a few shots being fired off all over the place. You can see the team there from the Violets just up in the northeastern side there on the minimap. The players, of course, here from iRush just trying to put those hits into Hawk as they try to make their way up into zone. So there's quite a few teams making their rotation up through this bottom part, coming up from the south. And the teams up in the north actually have it quite easy. There's no one really there to contest their positions just yet. But of course, Untold has now moved up to the bridge right next to the players there from Empire Gaming. So we're waiting to see what is going to happen here. And also the players from iRush, they're getting ready to rush up into zone. I don't know what SNZ, what's his name? Yes, let's go with that. Yeah, SAZ, Saz. All right, okay, there we go. There's the map that I was talking about, and you can see those teams, everyone moving in. Oh, and he trips. Well done.
Yeah, I mean, this is becoming a little bit of a tight situation for all these teams. You can see the south portion is very, very clustered up, and that obviously as a result of the terrain, they've been forced up into this position, and they're trying to not only fight it out, but they're trying to get in successfully, which is making things very difficult. And the next zone is about to be very, very uncomfortable, I should say.
Yeah, but speaking of discomfort, looking at the north part of that map, we've got the players there from Moz right up there with the players from Psychonex, I'm guessing. Here we go. Yes, this one here. Look at them pushing up. They are right on each other's doorsteps. Up comes some mollies and grens flying up all over the place. Momo going down. No, Momo. Down they go. So let's see what will happen. Ooh, yes, that is what we want to see. The shots going off in all directions as these teams now start having quite the party, and off they go. Well done.
That is indeed quite the party. A really nicely executed attack there, and yeah, I mean, some good shooting there, some good rotations, just dismantling the defense. They're pretty good. But once again, like I said, this zone, you can see it all the way on the east here, very, very uncomfortable for these teams. They have to rotating once again. They have to use the bridge or go for a swim. And the teams that are already there towards the north and the east, they're feeling okay about this because they're going to be able to get into the zone quickly. The rest of these teams are going to have to fight for these last like 300-400 meters of real estate.
But I'm feeling so sorry for the teams though, because I mean, this zone is absolutely spiteful for this first round. You know, it throws all the teams up into the one region, then everyone just rushes to get in. And once they get there, the zone goes like, oh, great, now we're going to move you all the way to the other side. You know, moving the whole process on. So it is making it super, super challenging for these teams to just establish themselves in zone. Never mind, you know, trying to avoid the opponents.
Yeah. I mean, that really does throw a huge spanner in the works for a lot of teams because a lot of them try and sort of go back to that whole sort of set of basics where you get yourself into zone and, like you say, establish yourself a little bit, get yourself set up. And this zone really isn't having any of that. They're like, nope, we're going to make this as difficult as possible for you to get comfortable at, or we're just going to throw this one at you left and right.
Yeah. No, and it's absolutely crazy. Just look how packed the zone is. And I mean, I'm waiting to see what this next zone's going to do. Seeing that, you know, we've got this trend that's already been happening now. The zone just being absolutely brutal with these players, forcing everyone into each other in a very uncomfortable way. You know, they can't really try and figure out what's going to happen or who's going to go where. It's just surprise after surprise. And the shots, of course, now coming in here from Buffy, just flying in right across the waterway, right up into the Untold players there. So we'll see what is going to happen. I mean,
yeah, there's a lot of players towards the south, and they are super crowded right now. Like, super crowded.
And the shots are just all over the place. You can see a few players, of course, now managing to make it across here. This being the players there from the Phoenix Prodigy team. And then, of course, the Violets just up ahead. Ooh, there we go. So Womb Raider sneaks in a quick shot there from the Yeeters. Now, they're still sitting on their three-man team that they started off with, so, well, kudos to them. Well done. Ooh, there we go. Some nice grains also now coming out. That is what we want to see. Yeah. So that's the bomb. That is the bomb.
It certainly is. You can see these teams really just not really utilizing that real estate because they've just been forced in such an odd position. Puffy going to be pushing out now super quick, gets all the hits in and only takes a bit of damage in return.
Yeah, that was some great shooting there by Buffy. I mean, it looks a bit buffy on the side there, but everything aside from that looks pretty good. Tiny now getting taken down. And we got Shakes and Hulk having a bit of a splash there, trying to make their way up in towards that zone, seeing that it's all the way across to the opposite side of the water there. And the Violets, they are still caught on the wrong side of the river, so they need to try and make it up. But of course now, Mr. Flighty here, just moving in and also getting hit by the ball. First he puts the hit in on the Morse crew fatal. And now the shots are hopefully trying to go over across towards the Violets that we've got hiding behind the rock there.
Yeah, the Violets took a bit of a gamble on this one. Their last tiny edge of that zone remained on the shore of the other side of that river, and they were forced to take the gamble, go in towards that area, take the control, which they did, and they didn't commit to going over, which is a good spot, and they've actually been taking some good fights from that shore. Obviously, now they have to make a move, which is what they're doing, but they've bought themselves some decent time, so respect to that play. All across the board, very good, but they're going to be picked off bit by bit as that zone comes in behind them, forces them up, some shots coming through. We're left with 5 teams and 11 players now in this final zone.
10. Well, there we go. Hey, it's like I can see the future. We got the 4 angry Martians just chilling there on the side, all the way over towards the eastern part of this map. And that's pretty much the only team with still a full squad. So we're going to see now if they're able to capitalize on this. Will they be able to get those hits in, get those shots in? Or, are they going to have a bit of a tough luck one in this round? I mean, we can't really predict too much just yet.
Yeah, that is quite true.
That kill. Here we go. So down goes Mr. Bow. We are down to 4 teams, 9 players. Waiting to see what is gonna happen. So let's see. I might even be able to predict a shot that's coming up, you know? Just give me a second. Just give me a second, you know? Let me just see what happens. All right, we got the Womb Raider right there. Sends off a quick one. Ooh, okay, so we jump over to the Violets. All right, so I'll keep my party trick for another time.
Yeah. Well, right now we're watching 4 teams at the moment. You could see they're kind of scattered in this little line.
Watch. How good am I? How good am I? Yeah, sorry.
Okay.
Continue.
Well, I was just going to say that they're taking some shots, but they've been wiped out now, so we got 3 teams left on the board at the moment. Yes. 4 Angry Martians, of course, Violet, and then Beast, who's last left alive, and might just get attacked from both sides at the moment. Violet on the one side, and the 4 Angry Martians on the other.
Yeah. Well, it's 3 Angry Martians now as they're moving up. We got Mr. Lynx, of course, getting taken down not too long ago. We got Beast, Luna, Pixie, and then, of course, the Martians that are now just rushing in. Up comes Atomic, Gold, and, well, the other one's name I can't see because they're moving too much.
6,
let's see.
6 though.
Yeah, I'll leave that one to you. You can go with it. But up comes Gold, trying to move in. A Beast just sitting very comfortably in the little shack there. Luna, of course, just on the edge. Let's see what. Ooh, that was interesting, Bren.
Do they know that somebody could potentially be in this little hut?
No, but I don't know. If you can see the Violets, right? Their kill count.
Yeah.
Right? Currently, they're sitting on 14 kills. All right. The Martians, they are sitting on 5 kills, and then of course we've got Mr. Beast there, hiding in his little shack. As you can see, they're sitting on 6 kills. So it's some interesting kill counts that we've got going into the last bit of this match.
Yeah, it certainly is, and Violet putting in quite a bit of work there. Just a lot of damage on the board. So that is very respectable, I must say. They've done some really good work in this game, especially just in that last play across the river. That was quite commendable. So they've done some really good work, but can they hold out here against the 3 of the 4 Angry Martians? Because they have that man advantage for the moment, and of course there's Beasts who can throw a little bit of a chaos element into the mix if he chooses his timing correctly. So I'm interested to see how this one unfolds.
Yeah, well, Beast, of course, being 1-0 away from being an agent, so we'll see what he's going to pull off. Yeah, waiting for everyone now just to snake in, and Beast he's playing Mr. Cool there, you know, in the hut, chilling, inside the zone, no need to move. I mean, how's that? Just like, you know, got your bird on your shoulder, everything is cool. You can just sit there and look at everyone else snaking their way up in towards the zone. I mean, yeah, like that's one of the best spots to be in. You know, Beast is just he's in a pretty sweet spot. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I guess right now they're just sort of waiting for the zone to start exposing people, because none of these teams really wants to take a chance. They both know that as soon as they move, they're going to get spotted. So the smokes are coming out now. The zone is just going to just squeeze. I don't know. We can barely see it on the map. It's so tiny that it's just going to squeeze. That's all we know. Atomic checks the hut. Well played there. So they wipe him out, and now it's just the Violets and the 3 of the 4 Angry Martians.
Yeah, well, one Gren could end all of this, seeing that they are so close together. So we're just now waiting to see what is going to happen. Mr. Gold going down. We've got Luna and Pixie still trying to find the angles there. Everyone dancing around, trying to get in those hits. Down goes Luna. It is now riding on Pixie.
Yeah.
Pew, pew.
Ooh,
one more to go.
Managing to win that one. Yeah. 1v1. It's Atomic versus Pixie.
Ooh. Man, this is going to be tough. Update.
Oh, no ways. That was close.
Ooh. Yeah. That was that was hella close. And I mean, well done to the Angry Martians. All four of them getting themselves 7 kills there. The Violets finishing off on 14 kills. Very, very nicely done. We've got the players there from the Moz Crew Fatal finishing up in 3rd place with 7. And then, of course, we've got, I think it was the Yeeters. Yes, the Yeeters finishing in 4th place, coming in with 7. We've got Empire in 5th place there with their 2 kills. We got Phoenix, of course, finishing off in 6th place with 3. Then we got the Anarchy Angels in 2nd, well, with 2 kills in 7th. The Escapades in 8th, empty-handed. Untold finishing off with 3 kills in 9th place. We've got the Hawk team there in 10th place. Also empty-handed, unfortunately. Then we've got the players here. I'm trying to remember what team they were in, because we're still trying to get used to the names, you know?
Yeah.
Like, we're trying to get used to the names.
Yeah.
Trying to see what we can get done in a bit of a hurry. Oh, that is the Psychonex guys finishing off there in 11th place. In 12th place, we got those players there from iRush finishing off with their 2 kills. We've got the players from God Gaming in 13th, empty-handed. Your killer is, second last with 2 kills. Mr. Zipdog and teammates there. And, of course, the Outlaws Gaming team finishing up in 15th place.
Yeah, that was really an interesting one, I must say. That was really great to watch. The zone was very, very unpredictable, very chaotic. It did put the teams in quite a pinch, and I must say, under pressure, Violet performed really, really well. 14 kills is an insane amount, and to finish second, almost finishing first, that is really, really good stuff. That's some top-class stuff. We like to see it. Hopefully, we'll see some more going forward. And yeah, of course, GG to those 4 Angry Martians who managed to get that W, that chicken. So yeah, I mean, that was spicy. What else is there to say?
Yeah, well, that was definitely entertaining to watch, and well done to the teams. I mean, well played. Some great action there, and we're looking forward to seeing who they're going to go up against in the next round that's coming up now. So this, of course, being round 1 that we just finished, and we're now moving up into round 2, where we've got the players from the other lobbies, of course, the top placing teams from that side also now moving up, and yeah, they're going to battle it out for the win of the day.
Yeah, that's going to be pretty interesting. I'm super keen to get into that. And with that all being said and done, we will get into that in a bit. So we'll see you guys after the little short break.
Yeah, there we go. I think we are ready to move on and get ready for the lobby. Come, Patchy, give us a speech.
Yeah, we can do like the caster dance. You want to do the? Yeah, you got the moves, dude. You know what it is. There's some great moves. Right
I just keep on pointing off in the wrong direction, you know, because for me it's all flipped.
Oh yeah,
and I'm like, yeah, you see. Sorry, this is what we do when we left here to talk, and we've run out of things to say. So
we could sit and analyze for quite a while, but like, do you really want us to do that? Is that really what you want?
Okay. So I'll leave this one to you, Patchy.
All right, well, I guess with that, we're going to send you to a break.
What's up, guys? Welcome back. Right, so we are getting into our second round for tonight. It's gonna be a best of 3, and of course, we've got the teams that placed top in both the previous lobbies that we had running just now. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see who we have, where they're gonna go, what they're gonna do, and who's gonna get them chicken dinners. And there's of course also some moolah to be won today.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Don't forget about the moolah.
Yeah, we can never forget about the moolah. Yeah, no, absolutely. I'm looking forward to seeing how this one pans out. Of course, like you said, we got those 3 matches to look forward to. We'll see how it goes. Of course, all these teams are going to be wanting to put in the work for that spicy moolah, as you say. And well, I'm interested to see how they do it, because that first match that we had just now was very, very interesting. We had some interesting things happening. We had some interesting zones, interesting pods, and interesting teams, I'd say. So yeah, I'm interested to see how this one pans out. Of course, with all those teams from the previous lobby right at the top there, of course, we're going to have those 4 Martians in there as well. We'll see how they do this time around. We'll see if they can get to the top of that lobby once again, or if maybe some other teams will rise into the rankings.
Yeah, well, we've got a few teams. So we've got the players from the Master Crew Fatal. They've made it in. We've got the Yeeters. We've got Prodigy. We've got the Escapades. Team Untold. We've got a Hawk. We've got the 4 Angry Martians. We've got the Violets. We've got Empire Gaming, Anarchy Angels, Active Gamers. We've got Endgame, Unique Elite. We've got Jinx Gaming, FBI Conquerors. We've got the Akatsuki, whatever. Them. Akatsuki. Good luck. Yeah, I'll leave that one to you. We've got Night's Watch. We've got Ink Esports. We've got the Elites. And then, of course, the War Monsters. Nice. So some spicy things. These lights are super bright for me today. That's that's why I'm sitting like over here. I'm trying to dodge these lights.
That's not how that works.
Well, I could also maybe just turn them down.
Yeah,
so that's maybe a plan B. You know,
that's probably a good idea.
So we're waiting now for this match to get underway, trying to see what's going to happen. What is the flight path that we're going to have? And there is the answer.
Well, it's about the same, I'd say.
It's about the same. It almost looks identical.
Yeah, I think
maybe
slightly more angled down towards the military base, but otherwise, almost identical. But what's not identical is, of course, the teams and that zone. We'll see if it lands somewhere different, or if this time around we'll get, some southern spicy zones in there.
Yeah, we shall find out in due time, and we're waiting now to see what's going to happen. Who's going to jump into where, and who's going to knock at whose door first? That, of course, being the question that we are waiting to be answered.
Yeah. I'm also interested to see how the Violets play this one out, because they did a really, really good job in the previous game. Got quite a number of points on the board. Got themselves pretty high up. So I'm interested to see if they're going to be able to replicate that, maybe push themselves up to the top end of that lobby. And, get some success once again. But... yeah, we saw some interesting drops in the beginning of that first match, and I'm interested to see if we see something like that once again. Those first drops, of course, in the pairs that we saw across the map. So we'll see if the teams stick to something like that, or if it's going to be a little bit more, static, a little bit more generic in terms of what we see. A team sort of dropping into those hot spots, getting into those regular zones there. Rozhok looking pretty crowded.
Yeah, well, I was busy looking at the results now that we had for the second group. That was the team that the group that we weren't spectating, and Unique Elite finished off their play with 16 kills in the chicken dinner position. So that's also definitely a team to watch. We had Jinx Gaming coming in second place, Ink Esports finishing off their play with not too bad, also 8 kills. We've got the FBI Conquerors who took 4th place. We got the Elites in 5th, Active Gamers in 6th place. So there's some interesting teams in this one, and of course now the players here making a quick dash for that vehicle. Everyone trying to get out of town, and several players now just pushing up in all directions. We're gonna have some GTA action right here on PUBG. The Yeeters, of course, now rushing in right towards the players here from Endgame.
Oh, this is great. We got some car chases here right in the beginning of our game. Hell yeah. We'll see how this one transpires if they manage to get themselves away. Ooh, we can see some cutting off tactics here as well. Gameplay 10 out of 10.
Well, I'm waiting for one of the in-game players to change their name to like Thanos or something. That'd be quite, you know. I'd like to see that. That'd be pretty funny. I think.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, you know, just like snap your fingers and.
Yeah, they could change their names
it's the wrong move.
To Thanos, Snaps, and you, and maybe Alt.
Delete. All right, so in the meantime, we've got a lot of teams all over the place. You can see the players there from the Escapades up in over school, and of course we've got the elites right there with them as well. The Malta area also looking very, very interesting. We've got the teams there, of course, from the Violets. We've got the team here from Unique Elite. Our chicken dinners from our second group. They're, of course, all right there on each other's doorsteps. And then, of course, also we have the players there from Active Gamers, just a little bit towards the south, pushing up on one of the players there from the Violets.
Yeah, it's interesting situations all across the board. I see players have actually taken up residence in that military base. Not for long, though. Of course, they'll have to rotate up north because that zone is all the way up there. But like you said, we've got a couple of teams around Malta and Farm. We got those angry Martians just chilling there.
Mm-hmm.
With the rest of those teams just sort of scattered about. I'm interested to see if this devolves into a fight or if they're going to just disengage themselves, because that zone is tantalizingly close, so they can get their way in there. But there's already a number of teams who have secured a decent spot inside that zone.
Yeah. No, that is definitely the case. And of course, now Mr. Hawk here, he's not playing for the Hawks. His name's just Hawk, shooting a quick few shots there over towards Luna, who's trying to make the great escape. We got Pixie just hiding up in the compound right up ahead of them. And we've got the Hawks now moving in from the northern side. So we're waiting to see if Hawk's going to bump into the Hawks. And maybe we'll have some action there, because then, there's a lot of Hawk action happening then on the map. But in the meantime, the teams are slowly but surely heading up. We've got the players, of course, there from Jinx Gaming also, as you can see. You can't see, but you can trust me, they are there. They're sitting in Rozok. We've got the players from the elites also. There you go. See, now you can see everyone moving up. Oh, Luna is on fire,
and not in the good way.
Moms, well, maybe let's see if this last hit comes in. You know, Mexi can do it. Let's see. Will Mexi can be able to do it?
Oh boy. Luna's very, very low on HP here, so I doubt that they're going to be able to do anything. Of course, that res coming up, Mexi going to be able to do that, so at least he can do that. We'll see.
Yes.
We'll see if Luna can do anything. I doubt it. Pretty much puts it in from all sides. Too many players against them, and no escape. And no help.
Yeah, we'll see what's going to happen. Oh, Mexi can definitely get the hit in on Luna. There we go. 1 down, 3 to go. Luna going up in smoke. Right, well done, well played there. That was some nice shooting. Now we've got Zigod right over there on the end. Oh, quick shot, quick shooting. It's cringe, I know it's cringe. Unique Elite trying to get those hits in. You shouldn't be surprised to hear the cringe coming from my side. Everyone knows that is how it is. Yeah, I know. I'm trying. But waiting now for this blue zone to move in, and there's a lot of teams still spread out across this map, though.
Yeah, that southern portion of the zone looks really, really crowded right now, which means that we're going to see a lot of teams potentially starting to fight one another back to back as that zone gets in small. Of course, we're still waiting for that blue zone to make its way in. It will eventually get there, but right now you can see all of those teams, they're going to be just crammed up to the southern portion of the zone. No one really taking those northern portions up.
Oh, there we go. So talking about northern portions, North Georgia is getting lit. You can just see those hits going up there. And of course the players here from Mozambique, it's pushing up, trying to get those hits in. We just saw a few shots there also now from the players there from Endgame. Some hits flying across. And if you look on the side, Yasnaya we have the players there from Night's Watch,
You're having fun today, aren't you?
Yeah, a lot of fun. We got Night's Watch. There we go. And the players there from Untold off on the side as well, pushing in on each other, trying to get those hits in. And we might see a few more shots also over in the school apartments area, as we've got several teams in that region as well. So, yeah, a lot of potential for a lot of fights. A lot of stumbling from my side also potentially coming up. Stay tuned. You'll find out soon.
Yeah. I mean, lots of teams coming up here at the moment. You can see that just the map getting absolutely cram-packed. We have 19 teams. We've got 67 players in the map right now, and the zone is slowly making its way in. The Angels finally going to start rotating up from that military island, so they're going to be eventually moving out of that blue zone, getting themselves to safety, but they're going to be finding themselves in a very, very interesting territory. How do I say it? It's basically, they're going to get an interesting greeting when they make their way into the zone, because everyone's in here. The next zone that's going to get chosen is definitely going to force these teams to rotate, unless it just somehow manages to land on top of everyone, which I doubt. But I won't make any predictions. You know, we saw how that worked last time, but at the very least, these teams will be forced to rotate, make some moves, and that means that we're going to see quite a bit of fighting about to happen.
Yeah, and I mean, if you're struggling with the terrain or the territory, you can also just have a look at the Tyrannotory and see what's happening from that side. There we go. The zone shifting up towards the northern side once again, and all the teams now, aside from Empire, well, they've got their own little empire happening over there in shooting range. Mr. Bry and his teammate, they've made the push up to the side, trying to establish them. And yeah, we've got Bo and Bry very comfortable in their spot. We got Uneven and Trip having a little bit of a trip, trying to make the push up in towards the compound, where they are, of course, now hoping to join their teammates. And we're waiting to see what the remainder of the teams are going to do. Are they going to move up into those open spaces, seeing that there are so many of them? But hey, the rest of the story will remain untold for now.
Yeah. So it looks like we're going to see a lot of teams moving up from the south. I'm sorry.
It looks like it, but we don't know.
Killed me, dude. I'm not gonna lie. That's such a good word. I love it so much. But there's a lot of teams moving in from the south. This zone, it's really small, and it's all the way to the north, which means all these teams are going to be funneled.
Yeah. I mean, and there's nothing better than a little bit of funneling, you know, seeing these teams getting shoved in together so close that they have to start taking those shots. And I mean, at the end of the day, that's kind of what we expect to happen, and that's kind of what is going to happen. So, yeah, we'll see which way around it's going to go. We're waiting for a few more of these teams to make their way up, and it's like they're a little bit slow with the rotations for this match.
Yeah, that does seem to be the case, which is only going to make more chaos as the zone gets smaller. All these teams going to be funneled in right to the bottom of the zone there. You can see them already trying to make their way up. Tons and tons of teams in the south trying to get into the zone. These teams are generally going to be stuck in a huge bullet sandwich, which is something we haven't seen in a while. This is going to be a huge smush. All these teams need to make their way up, because if they don't find a way into the zone, all they're just going to be greeted with is another team and another team and another team until they just run out of players to throw.
Yeah, and I mean, if you could see the teams moving up from that eastern side of the map, they just all like in a line, you know, single file, just trying to push up into a zone, and the first team out in front, of course, obviously pulls up the handbrake, turns around and says, you know, how you doing? Trying to get some of those kills in, and the players here from Empire, of course, being the first team to position themselves in the zone. So they've been here. I mean, I think they've maybe almost forgotten that the zone is going to shift. They've been sitting here for so long, but I mean, it's a pretty good spot to have. You know, and I hope for their part that this next shift that we're going to see will be the one where they are in zone once again, because they've been there for quite some time. Just looking at that zone, you can see the teams there coming up from the western side, coming in from the eastern side. That northern side, though, where we've got the players there from the War Monsters, just pushing up on the other team that we have right there with them. They are so tightly packed, I can hardly even see. But of course, that being the FBI Conquerors, they have just conquered that little piece of land there. Well done. The War Monsters get to, well, fight in the next lobby, I guess. Almost.
Yeah,
There's still 2 left. I mean, 2's been sent back. 1, sorry, my bad. 1.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Look at this zone. Right up towards the north, slap bang across between Saverni and the shooting range. And the worst part about it for all these teams is the fact that they are 19 teams, 66 players left in this zone right here. Somehow they've managed to not just absolutely destroy everyone, which means that all these teams now making their way into the zone, everyone trying to get a spot. If we don't see an all-out slaughterfest for the next 5 minutes, I don't know what's happening.
Well, it might be less, because just looking at the amount of teams that we've got here and the limited space or real estate, whichever way around you want to call it, yeah, it's going to be absolutely insane. I mean, these teams are just going to start ripping up into each other, and of course, I mean, it's already happening.
Yeah.
You just can't see it, but just trust me, it's happening. There we go.
I mean,
I'm dying.
I mean, when you're finished dying, you can come back to the situation where the Untolds are doing a little bit of work, getting hit, trying to get their way up. But what I'm saying is, if we don't see constant fighting from start to finish over the next 5 minutes, I'm going to be disappointed, because there's so many teams trying to get their way in here. You can see everyone's just trying to put the shots in right now.
Yeah, and I mean, the zone is absolutely packed. Look at FBI. They just moving in on the players here from endgame. You can see Ayad and the Nemesis. They are still making their rolls around, well, runarounds there. We've got FPI still sitting on 3 of their players. And several shots now, of course, lighting up that kill feed. Saverni getting absolutely packed. FBI battling it out still. The eastern side of the map is also pretty insane. We've got the players there from the Hawks and, of course, Untold. They're going at each other's throats. This kill feed is lighting up like it's someone's business. And of course now we see the Anarchy Angels just up ahead there. Ooh, Eclipse getting hit right there on screen. Pushing up on the team, that of course being the players there from the Yeeters. Putting in a few shots. FBI, man oh man, getting those hits in. And it's up to Nemesis. Will he be able to escape? Nope. Yeah, well, he does.
Wow, look, the amount of teams that are sitting on the western side of the map right now is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. I do not know how these players have not absolutely destroyed each other already, but whatever the reason for them not having absolutely annihilated every single person on the board right now, I hope it continues for them, because they're about to be in a difficult position.
Yeah, we just went from 8 teams in this section where we've got the Anarchy Angels now running, right? 8 teams, we just dropped down to 7, all right? And it's still going. Also, Saverni, well, and the zone moves up to this spot. Oh, man.
Oh,
now, we've got all those teams you can see sitting in the Saverni side. They're going to have to move up and join the party that we've got going on, because this is legit a PUBG party. Welcome to the party, everyone. I hope you brought your snacks and drinks and what have yous.
I brought my snacks and drinks. I'm ready for this one to happen. I'm 100% ready for this to happen. There are so many teams still on the board right now. This is going to be one mega disco party right here.
Yep. And this is only the first round. Well, first match for the second round. Whew. I am now excited. I want to see the second and third match. Man, if this is how we started off, it is going to be insane.
Yeah, I'm definitely interested to see how the teams manage themselves right now, because there's not a lot of space to utilize in this one. There's a lot of players to try and fit into this board. You can already see shots going through at the moment, just flying across as all these teams try and make their way in, try and get themselves a spot, trying to put themselves on that real estate. FBI putting the shots in, everyone just shooting left and right.
Yeah, because they came running in and saying, "Get down!" And well, that was lame. I know. I'll just continue on. No, I
wasn't as cool as
Tyrannatories. I had something completely different in mind, but whatever. We got the War Monsters now putting in those shots in the kill feed, and of course, the Anarchy Angels moving up, getting that hit in on Zeus. So a lot of hits now. Ooh, the War Monsters down to 2 players putting those hits in. Bo now trying to move up. Down goes one of the players there, Mr. Bry.
Oh, they need to finish off Trip quickly.
Well, we'll see. Oh, down they go.
Shame.
Yeah, well, the war monsters got eaten up today.
Yeah, just maybe a little caster curse on there.
No, well, we didn't say too much, so but it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
It's fine. It's fine.
We got Phoenix now rotating up. As you can see, the shots there from FBI flying up over towards them. They're pushing up all the way to that western side, right next to the escapades. The escapade is putting those shots in, and they are now down to their last player. Mozaid is the last one left. We've got Mr. Asta. Let's see, will he get? Ooh, look.
You're enjoying this.
Yeah, hasta la vista. Down he goes. And wait, it's not done yet. Look. That is how you finish a player off. Well done. That was amazing. Well done. Phoenix down to their last player. They've got one. QPZ. He's off somewhere. Mr. Bloodshot is looking a bit bloodshot. They're very low on health, trying to get that res in on a Havoc so they can wreak some more. And yeah, we'll see. Maybe the Night Watch will be able to get it in, but the answer for now is no. The Anarchy Angels, of course, sending them right back into the lobby.
Yeah, this is really interesting right now that we're seeing here. We've got 11 teams on the board. Of those teams, Unique, which is one of those ones from the lobby in the previous match that we didn't see. Violet still here. The Angels are here. We've got a number of teams that are pretty big heavy hitters, from the previous round in this, what is going to be one of the final few zones at the moment. I'm really interested to see how this one plays out, because all of these teams are going to be playing for that for the top spot, of course. And well, that's gonna play out really interesting.
Yeah, no, that's definitely the case. We'll see how this goes, because some of the top 5 placing teams from the 2 lobbies that we just had, of course, now sitting in this round in the top 10, 11. Just sitting here, we've got the shots flying up. Well, it's now top 10. There we go. So Phoenix getting sent back into the lobby, and some shots now, of course, still flying back and forth. There you can see the Anarchy Angels, Rogue Baby getting knocked out. Eclipse trying to put those shots in over towards the 4 Angry Martians that we've got just off in the distance, and the FBI just rolling up. Yep.
Yeah, just doing what the FBI does, just rolling up without a warrant. Honestly.
Yes, it's so it's very unwarranted, but off they go. Let's see what's gonna happen. And everyone now making their move up in towards the zone. The zone shifting up over towards the eastern side now. PUBG mixing it up once again, and the Angels rolling up towards that northern side. You can see the players there, of course, now from Untold all the way down in the south, and of course also the players from the Violets. Oh, they're getting hit pretty hard. Oh, down they go. Off to the lobby it is for them. And we're also now just waiting to see what's going to happen with that team up in the north, being the Elites. They're the last team to make their push up into Zone. Tigress just still hanging around. Rogue Baby also just hanging around, putting those hits right into them. And the Angry Martians, of course, also still there. They have not let them go just yet. Down they go. So the team now is out. The Elites have been sent back. 8 teams remaining, 21 players. There we go. There we go.
And a lot of them here on the western side of the zone. You can see the FBI right on top of them is, of course, the Angels and those 4 Angry Martians up there. Trip remaining for the Empire, also up to the top. And right at the bottom, we've got a number of players here trying to take some pot shots towards all of them. And the Angels now getting hit. And lots of teams have a bit of a crossfire on one another here towards the western portion of this this zone.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a pretty packed zone, as you can see just by looking at that mini map up in the top there. And yeah, we're just waiting now to see what Empire will be able to do. Are they going to try and make a rotation up? Are they going to try and maybe get some push-ins in there? The Anarchy Angels, of course, getting hit in the process as well. Ooh, it might be very close to the end. Sprinkles seems to be in a bit of trouble there. The FBI now opening fire, but Sprinkles, of course, managing to get the one hit in. Oh! Sprinkles is down and out. 7 teams remaining. Wow, this is going to be a really interesting zone. And I mean, the FBI, Rolex, he's timing this whole thing very well, I must say.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's definitely the case here. You could see now we have 7 teams remaining. All of them now need to fit into this small space of 100 or so, 200 meters. And, well, that's going to make it pretty interesting. We're going to get some more explosions there as the last untold member gets sent straight back in there to the lobby. Now we have 6 teams remaining. Unique going to be making their way in towards the eastern side of the zone right now. Empire still sitting up there towards the north, quite happy to just be where they are at the moment. Those 4 angry Martians still chilling, still there, and the FBI just below them. I'm interested to see who comes out on top of this one because, of course, Unique and the FBI have some pretty big forces there. But right towards the south, we've got 4 players from Team 22, which I don't know what the name of that is, but they've got a full stack.
Yeah, it's Esports.
Okay. If you say so.
Here we go. Yeah, I just did. Here they come. Yaha! Yeah. Yeah, so that's Yaya. Oh, down goes Rolex. So we got Was and Ritnix. Interesting names. So they're definitely not trying to get there. Oh, well, they're trying to not to get hit. They're not succeeding in that all too much. But of course, Was nearly running right up in towards that grenade that he just thrown. That would have been quite a sad way to go. You know, running up into your own grenade.
Certainly. Definitely not the way you want to go. But we'll see now
what's going to happen for 5 teams. Sorry, 5 teams remaining.
Yeah.
FBI down to 1. Some shots still flying across. As you can see them now going all the way across there from Empire. Just trying to get those hits in. They land one of the hits further down the map there. And of course, we are also watching the players from Unique still on the side.
Yeah, Unique is in such a good position right now. And as FBI gets taken down, Unique is looking into pretty much the best position that they could want. All of the rest of the teams are less, you know, in terms of man count. And that's going to make it a little bit easier for them to isolate and take them down.
Yep, and that's where you say Empire strikes back. We'll see what they're going to do now. They're sitting on 9 kills so far from what you can see just there. You know, they have to now try and rotate up in towards that zone. And of course, the Angry Martians, there's 2 of them. You know, they're going to try and go for gold. We'll see what they're going to pull off. And Unique, of course, very well positioned in that zone. There's 3 of them. So, yeah. Well, I wanted to say may the odds be in their favor. And, yeah, then they got tripped up a little bit. But we'll see. You know, there's still some time left to go. 25 seconds to be precise. And maybe we might get a few interesting clutch plays happening here.
Yeah, we might just see that happen, but the Empire, while they're trying to strike back, not really getting all the hits that they could possibly want in there. Instead, getting clapped a little bit. These teams now slowly just wearing one another down, just trying to get that leg up, trying to get that advantage going. We'll see who comes out on top of this one, because still Unique looking in a pretty decent position.
Yeah, well, we've got the Angry Martians now rotating up, pushing in. Shots, flying in, and the Empire gets it. They got the strike they wanted. Now 5 players left, a 3v1v1. Wow.
Yeah, I'm not sure how long that's going to last. We'll see if Bo can keep himself in this one. I don't think he will. There he goes out. And, well, we have 2 teams, and that means that Unique is in such a good position because, well, there's only 1 player remaining here. It's Addons, of course. Or Adonis?
Adonis, yes.
Adonis, whatever. We'll see if he can survive this one. I doubt it. Absolutely getting run down by Unique at the moment, and I think he is pretty much down for the count at this point. Yeah, there it is.
Yep. You know, he came swooping in there. Unique finishing it off, and yeah, they've made their play. They're finishing off on 9 kills. Well done. And of course, the players as the team that Patchy's name, we can't say the name of, the Inc Esports team, they're finishing off in 2nd place with 5 kills. We've got Empire striking with 11 kills. We've got the Angry Martians with 5. We've got the FBI finishing their play on 9 kills in 5th place. And of course, the players there from the Active Gamers finishing up in 6th place, going back to the lobby empty-handed, unfortunately. The players there from Untold finishing off in 7th with 4 kills. And yeah, next up we've got the Anarchy Angels making their finish with 8 kills. Then of course we've got the players here. I'm trying to Elites. Yes, Elites finishing up in 9th place with 2 kills. We got the Violets in 10th place there with 2, and Phoenix with 11th place and 0 kills. The Escapades 3 kills in 12th place. Night's Watch in 13th place. We've got the War Monsters in 14th with 2 kills. We've got the players there from the Moz. I'll get the rest of the name now. Moz Crew Fatal. There we go. Just need to try and remember everything. In 15th, we got Jinx finishing off in 16th place. Then, of course, we've got the players there from the Yeeters finishing off in 17th. And then, ending their game in 18th with 3 kills. And the Hawks going back to the lobby first in 19th place with 2 kills.
Yeah.
So there we go.
That was definitely an interesting one, I must admit. I honestly thought that we would see a few fights happening early to mid of the game, but we didn't actually see that much. What we saw was teams prioritizing the rotations, prioritizing staying alive, which meant that as we approached towards that final zone, what we were getting is just a ton of players just being in the zone and just everyone was there, and that just sandwiched everyone. Hold on a second. And that just sandwiched everyone into the single spot at the southern portion of the zone. And that is a really interesting spot to be in, because, if you're trying to fight your way up into a zone when you're just being squished from all sides, it's a difficult spot to be in, and it's really difficult to thrive in that position. So a lot of teams just sort of getting the shots in, trying to make do with what they got, trying to get, rotate into a good spot, trying to make sure that they're not getting clapped out by the zone. But ultimately, that was interesting.
Yeah, and it was interesting because all the teams were pretty adamant. Everyone wanted to make it up into that final circle, and a lot of them did. And it was one crazy packed one. But of course, we've got 2 more matches to go. 2 more to go. And I think it's time we get ready for the next one. So, we'll see you back in the second match. What's up, guys? We are back again. Ooh, there we go. Captain. All right, so we're getting into our second match for the second round, of course. And Patchy, it's been pretty tough. Pretty tough. These teams are doing some crazy things, though, for these rounds, I must say.
Yeah, I mean, definitely some interesting things happening. Like you say, interesting is the word of the day, I guess. You could say some interesting things happening in the previous map. Lots of teams staying alive for a very long time, and all of those lobbies are going to leave us with some very interesting standings. So, of course, as you can see on your screen here, is of course Unique Elite 29 points in first place, with Empire Gaming coming in second with 23 points, and Esports with 20 points in third place. So,
and then
very
of course,
interesting.
Yeah, Esports being that team in slot 22.
Yeah.
Then we've got the 4 Angry Martians sitting in fourth place with 15, as well as the players from the FBI Conquerors also on 15 points. So that's quite interesting there. And then we've got the Anarchy Angels coming in with 14 points in sixth place. So some nice kills there as well. As you can see, the players from Empire on 11 kills. Wow. Team Untold, 11 points in 7th. We got the Active Gamers there in 8th place with 8 points. The Elites with 7 points in 9th. And then, of course, the Violets with 6 points in 10th place.
Yeah. So it was interesting to see the Violets in this particular match just gone by not do as well as they did in that first one that we saw them. Maybe they're going to look to try and put some more points on the board going forward. Of course, now the other teams to look at is Unique, who came out on the top in the other lobby that we didn't get to see. So definitely, we had our eye on them, and they have performed adequately. We'll see if they can continue that performance, get themselves some more points and keep their spot at the top, or if they're going to be knocked off the ranking here by one of the other players, potentially Empire and Inc. looking to get some more points and secure their positions as well.
Yeah, and I'm really hoping to see a little bit more from the Violets for this coming round. Hoping that they start creeping up that leaderboard, moving themselves out of 10th place, and of course hopefully placing a little bit higher. So we'll see how that goes. And of course, moving on to the second page here, we've got the Escapades in 11th place, almost at second with 5 points. We've got Endgame in 12th place there with 4 points. We've got Phoenix Prodigy tied with the War Monsters and Hawk with the 3 points. And then, of course, as you can see, we got Jinx, Nightwatch, we got the Mars Crew, Fatal, the Eaters, and Akatsuki. That one is name I can't see.
yeah.
But yeah, there we go. We've got the match as well going underway. You can see the flight path, of course, taking us from the western side and heading up to just south there of Kameshki. A few teams, of course, now making their way around and heading off in all directions, and quite a few of them are heading up in towards the South Georgia area there.
Yeah, that's an interesting choice, especially now considering where the zone has just landed. So we've just seen it spot all the way towards the eastern side of the map, and so many teams on the west, so many of them centered around George. You're going to have a very interesting time. You can already see the fights breaking out.
Yeah, no, we have yet another party happening in this round. And as you mentioned, we've got those shots already going off. And from what I can see, we've got about 4 teams. Well, actually 5 teams. Just sitting in the South George region. And of course, then one of the players there from the Moss team now down in the south of George, trying to get across that bridge, trying to make his way up. And then look at the concentration of those teams all the way there near the shelter area and farm. That, of course, being the Violets and Unique, just landing out in the surrounding area. They're all scattered. And, of course, also looking at Yasnaya, we've got the 4 Angry Martians as well as the players there from Untold. Just hitting it up there. So hopefully we'll see some shots, see some action. And I'm expecting quite a lot of action coming in from this western side, over here in North and South George. We've got all those teams landing in that highly congested area.
Yeah. I mean, the question now is all these players who are in George, they have to find a way to either take the fight or leave. And the other thing that we have to keep an eye on is, of course, Violets and Unique, who have landed pretty close to one another. And if Violets knock Unique out, they put themselves in such a good position. But if the opposite happens, then Violets won't really get the chance to really put themselves on the board like we know they can. So that is definitely an interesting one that I'm keeping my eye on. But it's going to be interesting to see how this pans out, because all of these teams that are stuck in George, they have two choices, right? You take the fight or you leave, because everyone can't sit in the same spot. You know, you can't all have the same loot. You can't all, you know, occupy the same point. So you have to make a decision pretty early on, and then whether or not you do so is going to impact how this plays out, because a lot of teams still need to make their way into the zone, but a lot of teams already in there have occupied the outer ring of the zone, which means that getting in is going to be a little bit difficult.
Yeah, and we just saw Semsha there practicing some emotionlessness. Well, the remainder of the Hawks now are getting hit by the FBI, as they're, of course, now moving in. And also the players from Phoenix Prodigy, as you can see, just over towards the north of them, right there on the mini-map. So there's a lot of potential for a lot of action here between these three teams. And waiting to see what's going to happen. Will the FBI start moving in, shutting things down as they roll up? Or, are they going to get hit? But as you mentioned, Unique and Violet battling it out all the way over in Farm, as we just saw in the kill feed.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to be a difficult one, especially since Violet is split up. So not all of their players are in the same spot, which gives Unique a unique opportunity to take them out while they are weak. So, yeah, definitely not the best position to start out in if they want to keep themselves on the board for a long period of time.
Yeah, well, we'll see how it goes. But in the meantime, of course, now a few hits coming in here between the Hawks and the FBI. Sounds like two agencies just battling it out. And we'll see what it is that they're going to be able to accomplish. Ooh, we got Mexi sneaking in another quick few hits there in the kill feed. As you can see, Rolex getting hit in the process. Now they are down to Ritnix and Payne. So we'll see if they'll be able to survive this. Payne, of course, now trying to get that res in on Rolex. So I'm not sure if he'll have enough time. He must just watch his position, and we'll see what happens. Maybe things might just work out. But of course, Rolex getting raised up in time now. But up comes Mexi just rushing in. But the FBI managing to get those hits in. Payne. Ooh. Giving the Hawks some pain there as well. Nice.
Yeah, winning that fight was very, very critical. And that might just be game-changing if they can keep that assault up. Then the Hawks might just find themselves getting clapped back to the lobby in a situation where they could have won.
Yeah, and of course Mars now the last one left here, left to his own devices. He has to kind of wing it up on the roof, and we'll see if he'll be able to get that done. I mean, he is still going up against, I think, two players. There we go. So we got Payne and Rolex now just rolling up. And of course, Mr. Ritnix is off in somewhere. Down goes all the players from the Hawks. So they've just got sent back into the lobby. So unfortunate start for them there. Off they go. Yeah. But I mean, our lobby warmers.
That's pretty much what we were expecting to happen, you know. Like I said, the George being so crowded there, you couldn't expect to all survive. So the fights had to happen, and there it is. Some of the fights did indeed happen. Rest of the team's now looking relatively more free to start rotating out, moving in. Of course, you can see Phoenix here on your screen. They're pretty much uncontested on this particular side of George. So right now, they're not looking too bad. They could all just make their way out with relative ease. What is not going to be quite easy, however, is getting into the zone at the moment, which is very much surrounded by all these teams. You can see on the map, a lot of teams on the outskirts of the zone or on the outer rim of that zone is going to mean that going into the zone, pushing past them, is going to require moving past all these teams. Yeah,
and we've got about 2.5 minutes left until that blue zone starts moving in once again. Did I see that? No, I didn't. My clock is broken. Whatever. Blue zone is moving up. There we go. So all these teams now that you were talking about just now, they all need to start making their rotations up into a zone. And this is the point where all the players that have already made that push and that gotten that position in zone can really capitalize on it. But we are seeing the players there from Unique now hunting the poor players there from the Violets, as they are now just rushing right up towards them. They seem fairly hungry. Mr. Hawk there being absolutely relentless, trying to get those potential angles on them, trying to see if he can figure out where they are. But it seems like he's decided to rotate back up to the remainder of his teammates, and we still have the 4 angry Martians right there of course, with the players from Untold. And now the Moss Fatal Crew, they are rolling up as well. We got the Anarchy Angels closing in on the players there, of course, being from Esports.
See you Sunday.
Yes, Sunday we are going to see some more shots, but in the meantime, several more shots now going all over the place here between the Anarchy Angels and the players, of course, they're from Esports. So we're waiting to see what's going to happen. Will Eclipse get it? Sprinkles also not too far away, but we do see these players, of course, not just closing in. Sprinkles getting knocked out. Eclipse right there. Will Joker get it? Ooh, beautiful move in from the side. Sneaks up on Eclipse. Gets the hit. Joker now getting hit in the meantime. Tigress and Rogue Baby just off in distance there. So let's see. Will they be able to get any of those shots in towards the players here from Ink? Because they are caught in a bit of a troubling position there. And it seems like Ink might now just be moving up, getting their reinforcements ready. As you can see, the bag there from Rogue Baby just peeking out the side. A little bit of scope action. And of course, loads of teams now moving up. This is going to be a very, very crazy one.
Yeah, this is exactly what I was talking about. The fact that that zone was being basically gatekept by every single team on the outer rim there means that these teams have just bottled up across that that line, all trying to fight their way in. Now the zone has moved in further towards the east, forcing the players to push more up in that direction, which means that basically the lines don't change. These teams just have to move up in towards the zone. And once again, we're just going to get the same thing. The players have to run in and they're just going to meet heavy resistance as they try and move their way into zone.
Yeah, viva la resistance. But everyone, of course, now moving up in game. They're closing in on the players there from Unique. And of course, the players here from Ink taking a bit of damage, getting some loot going. It is only in the second zone, but they still have quite some ground to cover. You also see the FBI now making their move. We got the Night's Watch just up on the hill. Havoc wreaking some havoc there, shooting off a few hits. And there is some potential there as well. And Phoenix, we have them also. Phoenix making their way up. They, of course, still are just on the outskirts of Pachinki there. And it seems like the Ink players here, they are quite inclined to stay in that blue zone.
Yeah, I mean, this is really not an easy position to be in for any of these teams, because the only teams that are really sitting happy are the ones who get immediately into the zone first and manage to set themselves up. The rest of the teams, as they get into the zone, they have to be constantly worried about the teams who are moving up with them, next to them, in front of them, behind them. They really have to keep their wits about them. They really have to either take the fights or leave. And often with that blue zone moving in so quickly, they have to just try and leave and try and maybe just make some shots while they do so. It becomes a very difficult spot to be in. You can see all the teams, they're just trying to get their toes across the line, only to have it move up on them once again.
Yeah, I mean, those hammers coming down there from the blue zone side, of course. And if you can see on the western side there, we've got those players there from Night's Watch. They're just trying to move in. We've got Phoenix also right there. They're, of course, caught in the blue and the red zone. So that's a nice little double whammy that they've got going for themselves there. And, of course, the players from Ink, slowly but surely making their rotation up. Phoenix, as you can see now, just trying to get out of the red zone first, then the blue zone. That, of course, being... Well, in no particular order, but I would assume that you'd want to get out of the red zone first, especially when still in the blue zone.
Yeah.
Luckily for them, the red zone doesn't move with them. That would have been quite cruel.
I mean, it can actually, but that would be a very tragic, bit of luck.
Yes, and we're seeing in the kill feed now. The end game players, of course, putting a quick few hits into the team there from Unique. That, of course, happening all the way down over in Malta. And Phoenix just, as you mentioned, getting their toes right on the edge of the zone there, pulling up into the first compound they found. And here they are trying to get some loot and trying to make sure that they're ready for what's coming.
Yeah, I mean, that is definitely the case. All these teams, they finally managed to get themselves a little bit of breathing room in the fact that they can move past the zone's limits at the moment, trying to get towards the center point of the zone. You can see a lot of teams just moving around in Malta, trying to get themselves secure in a bit of position. But, that zone has moved up once again, and it is on that coastline right there. So that's going to force the teams in once again. We have 17 teams left, 57 players left remaining in this map.
Yeah, and we've got the players there, of course, now from the Moz Crew Fatal. There we go. So they are making their push up, just rotating past the players there from Endgame and Unique. And then also right in between FBI. We're still waiting for a few of these straggler teams now, of course, to start their rotations and come in towards zone. But it seems like Nightwatch might be in a little bit of trouble as they are scored still far out of zone. And of course, this blue zone is now going to start closing in another 20 seconds. So I think we might see the Nightwatch, unless they, of course, can find a vehicle. We might very well see them getting taken down by zone. But in the meantime, now we've got the players here going up on the roofs, the end game team trying to get a few more hits in as the teams now start rotating up. As you can see, everyone just moving up in towards that zone. Oh, there we go. Phoenix getting hit.
Oh yeah, these teams now having to move all the way back in once again is going to mean that they have to push in to try and get a bit of that real estate, trying to get themselves in there. You can see Phoenix, Unique, everyone just piling in here. Ink just above them. We've got the Angels next to them. The Yeeters coming in as well. Like, this is going to be quite a crowded zone, and there's going to be a lot of fights about to happen.
Yeah, 17 teams, 57 players. Oh man, it's going to be a super tough one. And of course, a part of the map being in the water. So, you know, this is one little piece of real estate that has kind of been taken away in a sense. So it makes it just that little bit more challenging for the teams. And of course, you can see the Eaters now trying to move up right behind the team there from Phoenix. Down they go. Womb Raider and company all getting sent back. Phoenix, of course, taking them down. But now Unique. Zigard is sitting there in the window trying to get some more hits in towards Phoenix. So we'll see whether or not they'll be able to get those hits in successfully. And Rogue Baby, of course, also just off in the distance there. While the team from Endgame is just up towards the north from that position. And down they go. Phoenix landing the finishing blow. Shaking things up a bit. And the Anarchy Angels, I don't think they're too happy.
Yeah, probably not, especially considering the situation, and anyone who gets taken out at this point are not going to be too happy because so many players still remaining in this board means that if you get taken off now, you're really not going to make it very high up in the lobby right now, which is going to be quite a disappointing spot. So these teams really need to fight to stay alive, fight to eliminate those teams and get themselves a good position.
Yep, and we got the team there from Empire moving in on the Angry Martians, and Phoenix still battling it out with Unique, as you can see all the way on the western side here. We're still waiting for the players there from Ink, also just up to the north on the western edge here, and also Blink on the, well, all the way down there, well, now the southern part of the zone, battling it out with the Violets, who've managed to survive all the way up to here. Active Gaming also right there with them. You can see Jinx now just crawling up, trying to see if they can get any sneaky shots in. And yeah, it's going to be interesting. FBI just off in the distance there, putting a quick few shots across. 15 teams, 49 players. It is going to be very challenging for these remaining teams. And of course, what parking? I mean, what do you see the vehicle there? Look at it, look at it. Boop. Parked in the terrain. Some crazy parking skills there. Well done to Jinx. It's not every day that you can get that done. Well done. GG. Yeah, so we're just waiting now for these teams to start the next round of well, Nox and Thirst going off, and
I mean,
there we go.
Yeah, we're waiting for the next round of fights to happen, and I mean, once again, we have all the teams still remaining here on the board, 15 of them in this map right now, and we are heading towards the final zone. These teams just have a knack for staying alive for quite some time, and that just makes things more and more chaotic as we head towards the final few zones.
Yeah, no, that's definitely the case. And you can see the players here from Jinx also now doing as all the other teams are, trying to find a good spot to pick in what's left of the zone. It is quite challenging, and also a little bit of an incline, of course, just on the side there. So we're going to see what's going to happen. And of course, the players from Act now getting hit by the FBI as they move in. Mars also contributing to those shots, of course, flying all over the place. And yeah, the players that we have for the team there from the Elite, not too far away, so we might see a little bit of third-party action coming in, and Untold all the way up in the north right there next to the Ink players. So yeah, a lot of potential for some crazy shots.
Yeah, but once again, we see these teams moving into the zone in such a way that they're not really forcing one another out or forcing any fights to happen, which means we have 15 teams still remaining, despite the fact that the zone is mega crowded right now. FBI, Effects, you can see Moz, on the northern portion, we have the Untold, we have Ink, we have Unique. Everyone's still chilling here in the zone, just trying to get a spot, not really taking one another out.
Yeah, and I mean, we're seeing some great shots as well, but yeah, I agree with you. Like, the teams have a little bit of aggression, but they're aggressive without being aggressive. You know? Oh, Stash getting taken down there by Bao. Forced to take a bow. Well done, well played. There we go. So 14 teams left, 42 players, a lot of kills coming in. Unique getting a few hits there into the Angry Martians, and of course Untold, as well as the players from Ink. So yeah, I'd love to see the players working with a little bit more of a I'd almost say like they choose they decide on a plan and they execute that plan. Yeah. You know, because it's kind of like they winging it a little bit in a sense.
Yeah,
you know, it's like, well, let's move up to here and see what happens, kind of, maybe, you know.
Yeah,
not 100%, but that's kind of the feeling that we're getting, you know, out of this. Is there's not that certainty. Like, okay, cool, I'm going to move up to this position, defend it until, you know, the zone shifts or whatever the case is.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
I mean, what they've been doing so far is just, can we get into the zone? And then if yes, we sit and fight and wait for the next zone. And then next, can we get into the zone? We move up, we sit in the zone. Anyone who's around us will shoot, and then the zone moves up, so we move up as well. We sit down and wait for someone. So it's not really like the whole, you know, find a team, take them out, you know, take all the opportunities you get presented. It's more like just wait for the zone itself to present the opportunities and sort of fight in there. And, I mean, ultimately, that's just going to end up in a lot of chaos and no real clear victor. You know, anyone could win at this point. And basically, as that zone gets smaller, more and more teams get eliminated by necessity because there's not enough space.
Yeah, and I mean, so I think at the end of the day, what we're looking for is that decisive action, you know?
Yeah.
Instead of it being, you know, based on chance. And regardless of what's happening, these teams are still putting up a pretty good fight. You know, when they get into these fights, they are pretty good at, you know, giving us an amazing performance, you know, getting those hits in, those, you know, just landing hit after hit. So there's nothing to complain about. We just want to see that strategy, you know, like seeing them actually devise a plan and execute that plan. That is what we want to see. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, anyone who's really listened to some of the things that I've been talking about in the past, you know, one of the things I really like to see is teams that start eliminating the random elements and chaotic elements out of the game, because those are the teams that really shine ahead of the rest. And when they start doing that, they take those dubs.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
or at least consistently.
Yeah, that's true. And I mean, we've got so many players right here. And the only option that they have right now in this section of the map, if you can see right there on the mini map there, is there's so many players. So your only option is to fight. You have to shoot to stay in the zone, because there's so many players still. 25 players aside from the ones that just got taken down. 11 teams, and I mean, the Violets are still alive, so we're seeing a little bit of, we're seeing that performance that we wanted to see from them, you know, them just staying in zone a little bit longer, and that's great, you know. So we've seen a bit of a strategic play from them, because they've rotated up, trying to stay out of danger, which is great.
They're a two-man squad, I think, as well. They've been playing a two-man squad for quite a while, so good on them. And also, actually, FBI are going to get taken out off of that map there, so 4 Angry Martians going to be knocking them out, leaving us with 10 teams on the board. But towards the east, we still got plenty of teams that are looking to fight, because as the zone's about to get smaller, well, we know what happens.
Yep. Yeah. These war monsters are, as you can see there on the side, they're moving up. We got the active gamers moving up, and down goes that zone. So partially in the compound, partially in the field there. So this is going to be a very interesting finish, seeing where these teams are going to go. Are we going to see any teams trying to rough it out or tough it out in that field there? You got Mr. Reaper trying to jump out the window. Hopefully he'll get it. Nope, he's getting shot in the meantime. Well, that's probably an exchange of some sort that we've got going on there. And Mr. Meatballs is the one that just got that hit in on Wizard. We got Gyro, Bot, and Reaper. I'm trying to move up. You can see Moz. Ooh, taking down Mr. Meatball. So let's see what was that. Mr. Meatball getting the hit on Moz. I think I might have read that one wrong.
Yeah, I'm not too sure about that. What I am sure about is that Lixin from the 4 Angry Martians just moving his way in there into an absolute cluster of an enemy set of teams here.
Yep, so much so that the lobby is the next stop for him. Well done, though. But just the concentration of teams in the zone at the moment. The only team not in zone, of course, being the Wall Monsters that we've got over here, and the players from Phoenix. The remainder of the teams already getting knocked out, sent back. The Violets putting in some more hits, putting some shots into end game. As you can see, Mr. Reaper here just trying to move up. We got Moz getting hit. Phoenix about to rotate up. Up they come. Will they make a successful push in on the players? And the Violets, of course, sitting very comfortable in the compound here, just keeping an eye on everyone while everyone is, well, the remainder of the lobby, of course, is now getting shot up. Yeah, Gyro bot, the last hope for left, and Pixie coming in with those easy kills.
Yeah, that's also a great spot to be in. You know, they've got the defense going, they're getting the kills, and the fact that this two-man squad stayed alive for so long is really, really impressive. And they're still putting the kills in, which is really, really good. It's going to be putting the points on the board for them. Pixie going to get knocked and not actually going to make it over the railing either, which might make things a bit difficult. Luna going to have to rotate to res, but we have 6 teams remaining on this board.
Yeah. And there's a lot more to come. We can see the players there from Phoenix now trying to find their little space of happiness in the zone. It is quite a highly contested little piece of real estate that we've got at the southern part here. But also, you know, realizing that the northern section of the zone is a very open piece of land. So there's not really any cover in that section. So we'll see what the players are going to do. The Violets, of course, keep getting that res in, and we've got a few stragglers in the surrounding area. Phoenix moving up in a full squad. Unique also sitting on 2 players. So, yeah, we'll see what they can do with what they've got. And, yeah, we're going to see some crazy few shots.
Yeah, that is definitely for sure. We've got quite a couple of interesting things that are yet to happen. Unique in an interesting spot there surrounding Gyrobot, who is moving his way up slowly. Phoenix very, very present in this compound here, looking to wipe out these teams. They've got the advantage in terms of man count, so lots of players on the board for them that they can use to sort of flex on the surrounding players. But these players, if they play smart, they could pick apart this Phoenix team.
Yeah, and of course now they've got limited time left to do this because the zone is about to move up. It's heading up north, out into that open field that we've been talking about, and Phoenix now getting hit in the process. Shots flying right up to Hulk there. So Unique moving up on that. Shakes now trying to see if they can spot Luna. Luna, of course, just down below. Shots flying in. Oh, well, that's one way of doing it, I guess. So yeah, everything riding now on Pixie, as the zone is now forcing them forward. But looking at the zone, we've got the team there from Empire. They've managed to get up into zone, position themselves right behind the tower there, and they can just very comfortably now sit there and pick off these teams as they all try and rotate up in towards that zone.
Yeah, it looks like Violet on their last legs as Phoenix hunts them down to try and take them out. Pixie just not really any ways to go at this point. Phoenix going to be really, really making it difficult for Violet and Unique to try and make it happen. So Pixie, you know, bad spot. They're going to be taken down. Not really much you could do. And, well, now we're left with 4 remaining teams on the board.
Yeah. And now we're just waiting to see whether or not Empire can capitalize on their position. We've got Mr. Hydro there from Untold creeping up the side. Unique still trying to move in. Phoenix now trying to get up into that open field. We've got Shakes, Asta, and QBZ all just lying down, trying to stay in the zone. And, well, if the zone shifts up once again... Wait. Look at Hydro. He's sneaking up behind that tower, trying to get in on Empire. Oh, puts the hits in on Trip. Down and goes Trip. Now it's up to Bo. Oh, gets the clutch. What a sneak attack there by Hydro. So 3 teams now. So Hydro spotting that position that they had in deciding, you know, I want this spot. You know, it's time to move. Off you go.
Yeah, that is the perfect capitalization of playing a solo player and is sneaking up on some unsuspecting teams. But now he has a lot of other teams on his hands. He's got Phoenix and Unique to try and deal with. And, well, in his hopes will be that Unique and Phoenix maybe start battling it out and distract them from his position here. And maybe he can get some cheeky shots in like he did just now. We'll see if that trigger is pulled, because Phoenix still looking pretty strong with their number advantage.
Yeah. And of course, the zone moving all the way to right in the center of these teams. So the only way really for them to go is forward out into the danger zone there. So we'll see what's going to happen. Oh, there we go.
Yeah, that is basically done and dusted at the moment, because I don't know if Hydra can make this happen. He's just got nothing to do, nowhere to hide, nothing to cover himself from those fires. So he's going to get taken out. And there we go. Phoenix take the W.
Yeah. With 18 kills.
Wow.
Sweet PUBG. That is yes, that's a crazy kill count. And of course, the players there from Untold finishing off in second place with 5 kills. We've got Unique finishing in third with 4 kills. We got Empire in fourth place with 4 kills as well. We got the Violets sitting in their position there. Yeah, they've made it all the way up into fifth place with 4 kills as well. And yeah, we see some interesting kill counts as we go. Well, if we look at the top 4 players there, and of course we got the War Machines there finishing, War Monsters rather, in 6th place. We got the Moz team there in 7th place, finishing with 3 kills. We got Endgame with 4 in 8th place. We got the 4 Angry Martians finishing their play off with 7 kills. No, yes, 6 kills. My bad. In 9th place, we've got the active team. I guess it is. Yes, active gamers. My bad. Sorry. In 10th place with 4, we got FBI in 11th place. We got the Night's Watch in 12th place. We've got the players there from Inkosi Gaming in 13th. We've got Jinx in 14th. We've got the players, of course, also here. I can't remember their name. The ones there in 15th place. That is the Elites. There we go. Elites in 15th. We've got the Anarchy Angels in 16th place. The players there from the Yeeters in 17th. And the Hawks back to the lobby again first.
Yeah, so some very interesting stuff all across the board. So Violets getting, a little bit higher than they did in the previous one, but still maybe not really where they wanted, getting caught out there. Playing with a 2-man squad, not very easy, and they got cornered at the end there by Phoenix, just flexing the numbers. And that's just pretty much what happened to the rest of the teams there who had the disadvantage in terms of numbers. Obviously, we saw a good job from Hydra, who came up with a little bit of that flanking action, but it wasn't enough to get him anything more than that. And yeah, GG to Phoenix, of course, for taking that chicken.
Yeah, but how was that play by Hydra? Though sneaking up right behind them, getting those 2 hits in on the players there. That was pretty. Don't break it. don't. Yeah, that was a pretty interesting play there. But yeah, well done to Phoenix. Well played. They're quite deserving of the chicken there. And I think on that note, and Betty already starting to break things, let's go into our break while we wait for our third round to get started. What's up, guys? Here we go. The third and final match, sorry, for round 2 is about to get underway. And yeah, dude, I think it's gonna be absolutely crazy. You know, just based on what we've seen these past few matches. But I'm really hoping to see the teams, of course, now, you know, start bringing in some strats, you know, with their rotations as they start moving up in towards that zone. You know, devising those plans and then executing them. That is what we want to see at the end of the day. And hopefully, you know, it will start piecing itself together as we make our way through the match. And yeah, you know, we've got a few more weeks left of the Inkosi Super Cup. So hopefully that is something that will definitely start developing between the teams as we, you know, progress on through the Inkosi Cup.
Yeah, I mean, we're waiting to see if the teams bring the stratosphere for that final map. Of course, all the teams playing for those big, nice, juicy surprises at the end, or maybe not so surprising, but they're definitely juicy at the very least. Going to be wanting to work to grab those. So hopefully the teams put in the good old effort, you know, for the last run here. Put in a good one. We want to see some fighting stuff from them. Of course, we might just see it devolve into a big chaos fest once again. Who knows? But yeah, it could go either way at this point, and I suppose we'd be entertained.
Yeah, well, either way, it's going to be entertaining. You know, regardless of what happens, it's going to be entertaining. You know, one thing I can definitely predict is that the one person's going to shoot at another one, and then you know, and yeah, so that we know is gonna happen for sure. So we're just waiting to see how that will unfold, where these teams are going to go to. Hopefully, those rotations will be interesting to watch. I'm hoping for some good placements, you know, with those rotations, of course. And yeah, that for me is the big thing, you know, because the teams fighting, when they get in the fights, it's good. You know, the only thing that we're wanting to see is those rotations, you know, those well executed plans, and that strategic play, of course, from the teams.
Yeah, I mean, I said it before, and I'll say it again. You know, the being able to isolate the chaos elements of this game really allows you to come out on top. And you know, if you want to be able to more consistently bring yourself towards the top of that log, because obviously one of the characteristics of this game is that we often don't see the same sort of teams in the top all the time. And if you want to be able to try and do that, if you want to be able to put yourself at the top, you know, get more consistently up there, then you have to work towards just really containing those chaotic elements, containing the randomness, you know, just doing everything yourself, basically. Just make things happen, be active, do stuff.
Yeah, well, that's very, very true, you know. And yeah, I think the interesting thing would be, you know, to see what these players are going to do, you know, and initially, and then finally, rather, not initially, finally seeing where they end up on that leaderboard, because at the end of the day, that is where they want to be. You know, we're looking for those placement points, we're looking for those kill points, and you know, raking in some crazy kill counts is definitely something that can really upset the leaderboard.
Yeah, for sure. So we're going to have a look at this flight path going up there from the top of Lipovka, obviously, and just heading all the way down to that military base. We're obviously going to see some teams dropping down there, which is good. We'll see where that zone lands, because that's really been the curveball of these past few games. It's really just been down to that zone and making stuff happen.
Yeah, and I mean, we've got a few teams. Oh, well, not a few teams, quite a big number of teams moving up into that Yasnaya area there. You can see the Angry Martians trying to get some hits in as they go. Mr. Ganid, Gani, whatever this player over here, making a quick dash for it now, successfully avoiding the vehicle on the first pass. Up comes the second pass, gets it once again. Third, it's like we're watching a bullfight, only the PUBG version of it, you know. And they're gonna cheat now and come in with their bullets. So that's gonna spoil the fun. But there's one coming. Yes, get in the vehicle. Get in the vehicle. That's what you want to see. I mean, what do you do if if you get into the enemy's vehicle? Oh,
this is great. This is the real skill set of PUBG here. Like, you got to learn how to shoot and run and rotate. Yeah. But also, you have to learn how to run around hay bales and rocks to dodge the cars. This is the kind of skill that we're looking for, right? This is it right here. This is the pinnacle of gameplay. So eventually the car will win out. He will get absolutely squashed. Well, there's a lot of teams up in Yasnaya.
Yeah, it's like PUBG dodgeball.
Yeah.
If you can dodge a car, you can dodge a ball.
Yeah. So anyway, all the teams there are going to be rotating down into the zone, and the interesting thing about this is that we've got the island in play as well.
Yeah, we've got the Anarchy Angels already, of course, moving up into that region, and you can see the players there in the Lipovka side. You know, we've got two teams sitting there very, very close together, so there is a nice little bit of potential there for some fights, and you can see the shots, of course, now going across, that being the elites, and of course the players there from the Hawk team putting those shots across towards each other. And then we also have a few teams situated in the apartment area there near school, that being the Escapades, the Escapades, and also the players there from Ink Esports. But now we're jumping up into Lipovka. Ooh, the players there from the elites taking quite a bit of damage. 3 of the 4 players getting knocked. Oh, beautiful shot by Stash. Luckily, Nico got raised up just in time. Mastu now coming up. Will he get that final few hits in? Everything riding now on Nico. Let's see, will he get it?
Yeah, Nico's just getting the heck out of there. It's just so low on HP. It just knows that any fight now would just basically be suicide. So, yeah, just gonna get out of there, put some health packs on there, make sure you're all up and ready to go, and might take the fight again. But we're gonna be seeing a couple of teams getting quite cozy towards one another. You can see there's Escapades and of course Ink in the school there, just chilling, getting nice and cozy together. We've got a couple of teams in Yasnaya and a fair number of teams just spread out across the zone itself, and that looking pretty comfy. Yeah,
well, we've also got the players from Akatsu, whatever that team.
Akatsuki.
Yeah, the one whose name I can't pronounce. That team, we've got them sitting over at the crates, and of course the Escapades, or aka Escapades, right here with Ink Esports, dancing around in the apartment buildings here. And yeah, we're waiting now to see who's going to get those hits, who will get those shots. The Escapades moving up. They are only down. Well, they're left with 3 players. So if they play this well, they might be able to get those shots in. But only time will tell. And we are waiting to see how that, of course, will unfold.
Yeah, we are just waiting to see how this one unfolds indeed. We're going to have a look and see if those Escapades can escape or take the fight. And the rest of the team's just going to make their way into the zone. So this one's a little bit less chaotic than the ones we've seen previously. Because previously the zone would kind of just throw everyone for a huge curveball. Like, yeah, this is where you dropped, so this is going to be the opposite of where we go. Oh, look at us now, we're on the other side. So it's been funneling a lot of the teams in together, which has created a lot of the chaos. So this is a little bit more relaxed.
No, that's definitely the case. And of course, we're seeing some shots between the Escapades here and the players, of course, there from Ink. And also, we have the players there from the Crew Fatal, the Moss Crew Fatal team, also dancing around with the players from Untold up in Yasnaya. So we got some of the Mozambican players going up against some of the Mauritian players, and of course, the South African players as well. So a nice spread there. We got some Nigerian teams in as well. So it's definitely an interesting mix, and it's good to see some more teams from across the region coming in, participating, and doing quite some damage to to each other here.
Yeah, no, it's great. It's great. Definitely really awesome to see all the, the players picking it up, getting out there, getting involved, putting in the matches, which is great. And that's really a good way to get better. You can see Safraz here just chilling on the ledge, really just doing an absolutely stellar job at making sure that this team has absolutely no clue where Safraz is right now. And, that's... oh, they have definitely spotted him now. Surely.
Well,
yeah, they know what he
is. Yep. The joke's up. Oh. Let's see, will he get it? Adonis right there on the side. Down he goes. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Safraz gets down. Now it's up to Mr. Infrared.
Yeah, you can't jump around and survive forever. You got to go down at some point.
Yep, that is very, very true. And we're waiting now to see what is going to happen here. will the Escapades get sent back to the lobby? Will the team from Inc Esports be able to clutch it off? Well, they are closing in, and the answer is yes. Escapades getting sent right back into that lobby. We are now left with 16 teams, 54 players remaining, and we have quite a few teams fairly comfortably spread out across this map. We also saw the players there from Phoenix taking out the team from Nightwatch. So they have now, well, let me just confirm that. Yes, they have taken down Nightwatch. Yeah, so well done to them as well. And we are still watching the players from Moz and Untold doing a bit of a dance over in Yasnaya, while this blue zone, of course, is now starting to close in. As you can see them right up there in the northern side. The Anarchy Angels sitting very comfortably on that military island. No one there to contest their position. The FBI and, of course, the players with that name that I can't pronounce there, all the way over there in the Georgia Bull crates. You got the team there from Empire, very comfortable in Primorsk. Of course, the active gamers sitting in Ferry Pier. The 4 Angry Martians making their move in. We've got the War Monsters also not too far away from them. And the zone shifting up once again. Jinx already on the roll. They are heading up in towards that zone. Nice anticipation of, the zone shift there. So now we just wait to see what these teams are going to do, where they're going to go. And, who's going to be the one to get the next few hits.
Yeah, that is certainly the question as these teams now making their way down. You can see Moz and, of course, the Untold Legends there. Just up, moving down from Yasnaya, got to get in towards that zone. The rest of the team sitting relatively comfortably. And this is definitely a change up from the previous few zones where this wasn't any sort of comfortability, all the teams having to move as soon as they got into the zone. So this is a nice change up for the teams, but Moz going to be putting those shots in as the rotations try to come through. And the rest of these last straggling teams just make their way into the zone.
Yeah, I mean, so Mr. OP here is the last one left for his team, so he definitely needs to find another vehicle. He is just waiting to see if any of the other players are going to move up, but as we can see, of course, the rest of the team has rotated up in towards zone, so Mr. OP there might, well, hopefully he starts rotating up, otherwise he might get taken out by that blue zone. And in the meantime, the teams have, moved up fairly well into the zone. There we go, OP gets that one hit on Mr. Crush as he gets crushed by the blue zone. Trying to make a quick dash now for the zone. Let's see, will he make it up into that zone successfully? And the Anarchy Angels are slowly but surely, of course, now closing up on the War Monsters. So, yeah, we wait to see what is going to happen. 16 teams, 53 players, and Mr. OP now getting hit there by Hydro. Risking it out in the blue zone once again. Well, I guess they could probably stay in this blue zone for a little while. It's not doing too much damage. And they are boosted, so they won't die within the next 5 seconds or so.
Yeah, they'll be fine for now. Just trying to put those hits in, see if they can just chop off the rest of that resistance there from Moz. But, these teams now inside the zone, pretty sitting comfortably. Nothing too crazy going on. They're just spread out. They've got their spots. They're moving in. They're making sure that they're not really contested, which they're pretty happy with. And considering a lot of them are very centralized, they'll be in a pretty decent spot when the next zone drops. So there might be a lot less chaos, but that does also mean that you've got to set yourself up for those fights.
No, that's definitely true. And, speaking of setup, we got the Anarchy Angels. They're very, very close to the War Monsters. And they are moving about quite a bit, trying to see if they can find any angles on any other teams that are, rotating up. But also we are seeing the Violets now moving up just towards the north there of the War Machine. So, yeah, the War Machines, War Monsters, sorry. WM, it sounds the same, my bad. They are about to potentially get sandwiched in between, the teams. But also, that team whose name I can't say, moving up on FBI as well, right there in Gatka. Patchy, please help me out.
Yeah, well, Akatsuki got to move in there, take the shots over towards the FBI. We'll see if the FBI can put up the fight at the moment. Payne putting the hits in, but is going to be hit in return. So this fight now going up here. Nick's trying to put the few shots in towards those Akatsuki members there. They might not be able to hold on for very long. They are losing members bit by bit as the FBI does do their due diligence. They're getting those raids in. They've got the warrant. Let's see if they can put the rest of the shots through.
Yep. So let me try this. Akatsuki. There we go. Akatsuki now putting those hits in there. Down to their last two. Diablo, of course, bleeding out slowly but surely. FBI on 3. What a gren coming in from Rolex. Times it perfectly, puts the hit in. And Obito is just chilling in the vehicle there. Backseat driver and all. Just chilling, waiting. No one has spotted him just yet. Ritnix, maybe. I mean, is this going to be another contender for a hide and seek competition?
That would be great.
Find out.
We really need to hold like a tournament. We need to give a prize to the best hide and seek of the season. Really, we do. We need to keep like a record of all these guys just doing this nut stuff, just sitting there in plain sight and nobody spots them out.
Oh, wait. Have a look. Here comes Johnny.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, his time has run out. Well done there to the FBI, finishing him off. But you know, end of the day, that is what the FBI does best. You know, they track down whatever's, and we're also watching the players now from Jinx. You can see the kill feed there, putting some hits in on the Violets. 2 of the players getting knocked out. You can see Melo just taking it easy. Skittles also moving up. Pixie getting caught behind that rock there. Ooh, there we go. So Wizard sneaking it up there from the War Monsters. And, yep, there we go. Out goes the Violets.
Yeah, you know what was so great about Obito hiding in that car is that Rolex, when he walked past and he spotted the thing, you could see him do a double take because he moved past. He looked at me and he was like, wait a second. And he looks back and like, what is this?
Yeah, that's not a backseat. Something is weird.
Somebody's got a body pillow on the back of their car.
Yeah. Well, we've got Jinx now getting a little bit of company up on the hill here. As you can see, the players, of course, they're from Hawk now rolling up on their spot. You got Skittles and Melo, the last 2 contenders left for that team. And, of course, Phoenix now being pushed there by the 4 Angry Martians. Ooh, there we go. And, of course, Jinx getting saved there by the players from Endgame.
Yeah, so the little setups there between the teams, the crossfire really working out for them. We're going to be cleaning up the teams off the board. And you can see we already have 13 teams remaining. So the teams are getting sent back to the lobby a little bit quicker this time around because, you know, the teams aren't just being thrown into like a really big curveball by the zone. So they have a chance to sort of set up and play a little bit more for the kills, you know, try and wipe some teams out. So already we've only got 13 teams and 41 players now as we start moving into these final few zones here. A couple of teams already sitting inside though. Of course, we have players there from Jinx, the War Monsters, or those guys, Unique, and then of course the other team there, Team 15, sitting inside the zone. The end game already down. Phoenix already inside the zone as well. Angels moving up, and the rest of the teams now making their way towards that zone, going to stick themselves inside there, and potentially we could see some more fights bring up there towards the north and the south as the teams start moving in.
Yeah, and Team 15, of course, being the players there from the active gamers. So they are quite active, also quite spread out at the current moment. So let's see, will they be able to make it up successfully? Ted Bundy, of course, now moving back into the remainder of his teammates. And Endgame now trying it to face off with the Angry Martians that are moving up. Adonis getting a quick hit in onto one of the Mars players there. So down they go. Endgame doing a bit of donuts out in the field as one should. Up they come, the Angry Martians getting hit. Zodiac and company taking the hits.
Yeah. That's a difficult spot to be in. Venom just trying to use the grass, not really going to be working out. You know, not much cover. The smoke's going to get popped, but the shots trying to get landed through the smokes is going to give a CR7 a little bit of a difficult time to retreat here and just move away and try and stay alive. In the meantime, though, lots of shots going off there. FBI rolling up. Unique also taking some hits as well.
Yeah, and I mean, this might very much be the end game for Mr. CR7 here, so we'll see what's going to happen. Phoenix, as you said, rolling up. We've got the Anarchy Angels not too far away from them. A humongous red zone about to plonk down on the map, as you can see. Bloop, down it goes. And fortunately now for CR7 here, the players, of course, ahead of him are now getting rushed by the team there. That being the players from Esports as they now move in. Shots coming in from the opposite end. Ooh, man. Angry Martians caught in a bit of a tricky position there.
Certainly is the case. You can see the shots trying to get landed. Yaha just yeeting them into the lobby, trying to get them absolutely done and dusted. All these teams now moving up here, all of them clustering together. You can see UXN trying to put the shots in. Can he make it happen? Team 22 there, of course, being Ink. I remember that name. Just
there we go.
Be hiding behind that rock.
So you've changed Lixon to UXN. There we go. So, well, either way, shots are flying up from that position. So the 4 Angry Martians are not done just yet. They are putting quite a bit of damage into the Ink Esports team here. And that red zone is covering like half the map. Well, the zone that we have left. That is insane. I mean, we don't usually see the red zone that size. Yeah. It'd be pretty rough if that red zone covers the whole zone. It's actually in fact bigger than the current zone. But we've got a few more teams also getting very, very cozy. Aside from the 2 that we are watching on screen here, we've got Phoenix, the War Monsters, and Empire also getting very, very close to each other, all the way over towards the eastern side of the current zone. And up comes the team here from Ink, now trying to rush in. Not very successful. Adonis now just hanging back a little bit there. But that was not a bad attempt, though, you know?
Yeah,
good idea.
I mean,
it's just the execution and timing of it that needs a little bit of work there. But, I mean, overall, not a bad idea to push in and rush in. And, yeah, well played also, too. The 4 Angry Martians really good at defending their position that they've been holding for the past few minutes.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to trifle with these Angry Martians. You know, they can put the hits in, and it's evident. Like you said, the plan was there, and it was a good one. Maybe just required a little bit more execution, but ultimately, yeah, of course, they're just gonna get exploded, and Angry Martians will live to see the next zone.
That explosion was the red zone, blowing, like, just wiping them out. I mean, what a cruel end that is to your gameplay. You're sitting there trying to battle it out with the team, and then the red zone just goes, delete, gone, off you go. But we're also seeing the FBI now getting rushed there by Empire. They are moving up, as you can see in the kill feed. And I think it's pretty safe to say that the FBI just got taken out by Empire. So well done, well played. We are down to 7 teams, 21 players still alive. We're also seeing the Anarchy Angels now getting paid a little visit there by Phoenix, as they are now battling for control of this corner of the map there, seeing that it is a circle. And also we have the players from the War Monsters right there beside them. I mean, here's the part that I'm talking about. The Angry Martians seeing the fight, and they go like, no thanks, I'd rather go the other way. Oh, yep. No. There we go.
Yeah, it's a bit too late. I'd rather go the other way, but I think a little bit of punishment for trying to move in on there, where there are about 3 teams trying to take a fight against one another. So they're going to try and just do a bit of a retreat here, as the War Monsters are just dancing between the Martians and, of course, Phoenix, who is looking between them, and Angels, who are just beneath them.
Yeah, and you know, 7 teams remaining on this map, 4 of which we've got sitting on the side. You know, Untold and Unique all the way over towards the northeastern side of the map there. Empire very comfortable in the southeastern side, waiting for the zone to shift up once again, seeing where these teams are going to have to need to rotate up to. And of course now the Angels putting those grains across over towards Phoenix. The War Monsters left on 1 player. We'll see whether or not Gyrobot will be able to get that res in on Wizard. If he tries to move up, he might get shot by the Angry Martians. But in the meantime, Asta is getting hit by Rogue Baby, doing the damage, getting the Thirst. Of course, Tigris and company just doing hit after hit. And Shakes now the last one left in the zone, of course. Throwing in a nice little curveball here, rotating up all the way up towards the north.
Oh, yeah. So Angels there making a really nice opening for themselves, just hitting Phoenix so that they couldn't stop them from rotating. They just jump in the vehicles and get themselves going, which is great, because that means that they're going to move straight up into the zone. They're going to get themselves a great position in there. But the shots already flying. Lots of teams trying to pay each other a visit at the moment as they move into this tiny zone. 200 meters across, Unique sitting there, shots going forth to the Martians. And also taking a bit of damage as they try try and rotate as well. The rest of the teams making their way up.
Yeah, well, that was a crazy shot. Well played, though. I mean, yeah, taking that angry Martian out as he's trying to just escape into that blue zone. You know, some beautiful shooting there. And Phoenix also now still picking off some players. Not done just yet. Tigers, of course, now getting knocked out in the process too. We got Unique positioning themselves up towards the north there. The last 5 teams remaining there. Empire, as you can see, rolling in. We've got Unique, as I mentioned, up on the hill. And, of course, the Anarchy Angels, as you can see there in the central part. And Mr. Gyrobot still alive, trying to find a spot where he can go. Putting some hits in, though, in the meantime. Nicely done. Taking down Tigress and getting the knock in on Eclipse.
Yeah, right now, Emp is really taking the fight to Phoenix as they start to rotate up. They're going to be absolutely hammered until they get dropped left and right, sent straight out of the lobby. Unique now moving down on Emperor as or Empire as they try and make their way in. So they're going to be getting hit as well. Fights to continue as we have 4 teams remaining.
Yeah. Ooh, some shots now flying in once again. It's Unique putting some hits into the Anarch Angels there. So they're in a pretty good position, really utilizing that hill, you know, to their advantage. And we've got Empire, as you can see there, of course, sitting on their 3 players. We've got the Angels down to 2. Unique battling it out. Oh, up comes the Gren to end it. Well done. What a hit.
Yeah, that is pretty spicy. That's going to leave us with 2 remaining teams, of course, that being Unique and Empire, which, well, they're in a very interesting spot at the moment against one another. They're basically going to be fighting over the crest of this hill, which is definitely going to be something interesting to watch, because as soon as somebody peeks their head up, they're going to absolutely be hammered. So this zone is going to be super critical for these teams to move up into. You can see it just on the one side, so Unique might just have an upper hand here, and the red car over there doing a bit of a dance, just showing us that physics mean absolutely nothing.
Yes. Welcome to PUBG Mobile, and we're also now seeing the players here from Empire moving up towards Unique. So Hawk making his quick push up in towards the zone, the only player in zone. Now we're waiting to see what's going to happen. 12 seconds left until this blue zone starts shifting up once again. Empire in the danger zone there. They need to get that position in that zone. Now, Unique really good at moving up, positioning themselves really well. You can see how they are spread out there. And it might really count in their favor, because we do have a pretty tough spot here for Empire. But, of course, Mr. Rolex getting a quick hit in there. Bri coming in, gets that hit in on FaZe. He's not too phased while he's moving up in towards that zone. 3 players now moving up against 2. Unique. Let's see what's going to happen. Hawk. Oh, nice hit.
Yeah, and he's going to have to get a couple more of those at the moment. Definitely a difficult spot to be in. One of these teams are going to have to walk away with the win, and it's super close. It could go either way. Zigard are going to be dropped at the moment. Now Hawk moving up to try and assist. Hawk is the last one left, the last hope remaining. Can Empire close this one out?
Well, it's been quite the turnaround, though, I must say. I mean, Unique having a pretty good positional, pretty good position in the zone, and Empire just moving up, completely disregarding the position there of, the opposing team, and just taking them out one by one, really playing this to their favor. And Hawk now, of course, as you mentioned, being the last one left. So let's see, will Empire get this? Will they strike back and send a Hawk into that lobby? Hawk cooking a quick one up. Didn't send it, not yet. It's just drafting it.
Yeah, you got to plan your meals before you cook them, but eventually, once you've cooked them, you can send it over and see if they like it. Might be what he needs. If he can isolate 2 1v1s, it's definitely possible, but 1v3 is a difficult position to be in no matter which way you swing it.
And the tough part also is that he's not in the zone at the moment. He's 25 meters out, and Empire really now just pushing in, trying to get those hits in, and down it goes. Wow, comes in, finishes off with a quick shotty there. Well done. So Empire, finishing off with 11 kills, and the chicken dinner. Unique finishing off on 5. We got the Anarchy Angels finishing their playoff on 4. We got the War Monsters on 2 kills in 4th place. Phoenix finishing up with 4 kills in 5th place. Then, of course, we've got the Angry Martians there with 7 kills in 6th place. Untold in 7th place with 4 kills. We've got the FBI. Well, it's classified, but they've actually gotten themselves 7 kills. Well done. Then, of course, the players there from Inc. finishing up in 9th place. We got Jinx in 10th. We got Endgame in 11th. We've got the Active Gamers in 12th place. We got the Mozambique team there in the 13th place. I can't remember what that one was. Sorry. Oh. Mr. Nixie. I think it's the Elites.
Yeah, usually that's the one that you keep forgetting.
Well, I'm sorry if I forgot the names. It's
don't worry, that's sort of my job. So
we're getting used to the names. It's new names. We promise it will improve. Yes. But that was okay. So never mind. The elites were the first team sent back. Then we had Night Watch finishing off in 18th. We got the Escapades in 17th. In 16th place was that team's name that I still can't pronounce.
Akatsuki.
That one. Yeah, also my angles are all messed up. And then, of course, the team that I'm looking for, the name there, I can't find it now. But anyway, that was a very, very interesting finish there. And what a turnaround that was there by Empire. I mean, I thought that they might be getting sent back to the lobby. And instead, they turned it around and, just sprung the players from Unique and sent them to the lobby.
Yeah, I mean, Unique was sitting in a pretty good position, but ultimately, they went in, they won the fights that they needed to win. They pushed the players from Unique all the way down there, managed to isolate them, get them done, and once that was done, it was pretty much finished. They just had to find that last player, and it was relatively easy. The 1v3, not really an easy thing to pull off, and especially in a position like that, it's not going to happen. So, played. Very a bit more of a passive sort of zone in terms of not really throwing so much chaos in the way of the players. So they didn't really have to think about that, so they could mostly just get up inside the zone, set themselves up, take some more fights, play a little bit more generically, which was nice to see. It's always great to see a bit of chaos, but ultimately, it's also nice to just slow it down a little bit, get your players into a more comfortable spot where they can, just get a little bit more fights on their terms. So that was nice to see the players just putting up some good fights, and ultimately, GG, well played to everyone.
Yeah, no, that was definitely very nice to watch. I mean, like you mentioned, the team's really getting the opportunity here to focus a little bit more on what it is that they want to do within the match itself. And we really saw that coming forward throughout the match as it progressed. And well done to the teams. Well played.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I guess we're just at the moment going to be waiting for those results to come back. I'm not too sure what the status is on that regard, but so ultimately, I think we have seen a pretty good set of games this evening.
Yeah. Well, speaking about the games, I think let's have a look at the second match's results, to see what we had in that one. And of course, as you can see here, we've got the players there from Phoenix coming in with 38 points there. Wow. We got Team Untold finishing off with 20 points. Look at the 18 kills, though. I mean, wowzers.
Yeah, that's going to put them in a pretty good spot, I think, going forward. I'm not too sure. I can't remember what they got in match 1, but that is a pretty good score to go into match 2 with, and definitely going to be sitting at least to help them in the final one. So interesting spot here. The top 3 being Phoenix, Untold, and Unique. So it's difficult to predict who's going to make it into those top spots in the final final standings.
Yeah, I mean, of course, then also we've got the players there from Empire Gaming with 14 points sitting in 4th place. We've got the players there from the Violets. Sorry, I was wanting to say something and I forgot what it was. The Violets sitting in 5th place with 13 points. And then we've got 4 teams there sitting on 10 points. That being the War Monsters, the Moz, Crew Fatal. We've got Endgame as well as the 4 Angry Martians. So, they're all sitting there with their 10 points. You could almost say they tied in 6th place, but not really, because the kill points also, like I said, set apart. And then, of course, we've got the Active Gamers up there in 10th place. That's also, aka the players in slot 15. Yeah, we've got them in 10th place with 8 points. So it's quite an interesting spread there. Looking at the kill counts, I still can't believe that Phoenix 18 kills, absolutely insane. And then of course now the second one. Well, yeah, bit of a different story here.
Yeah, the second page looking a bit different. We have FBI Conquerors up there in 11th place with 7 points. We've got, of course, Inc. 12th place with those 4 points. We've got Night's Watch with 2 points in 13th, and of course Elites as well with 2 points. And then Jinx, Anarchy Angels, the Yeeters, and Hawk all with that 1 point, and the remainers the Escapades and Akatsuki in 0 points, 0 placement, 0 kills. They're going to be going in 19th and 20th. Basically 19th tied. So yeah, an interesting turnout overall, I think. And we saw some of the teams performing really well in that first match and not so much in the second one. And here are those overall standings. So wow.
Yeah, and that's the post match too. So we've got Unique there sitting with 45 points, 13 kills in total. Phoenix on 18 kills in total. I mean, that's pretty much where they made all their kills, was in that previous match. Moving themselves up all the way into 41 points. You've got Empire Gaming, of course, sitting with 15 kills, 37 points. Team Untold, well, it's nice to see the placement points as well, same as Empire, but the difference, of course, coming in with the kill points there, 31 points for them. The Angry Martians, they are slightly, a little bit happier now, sitting in 5th place after the second match. 25 points to the name there. Inc. Esports, 24 points. The Conquerors there from the FBI sitting on 22 points in 7th place. The Violets with their 6 kills and 19 points. Active Gamers, 4 kills and 16. Then, of course, the Anarchy Angels with 8 kills and 15 points. So it's an interesting as we go down the list, looking at the placement points also, it goes, 30, 20, and then 7 right there at the bottom part.
Yeah, the points really showing some interesting things here. After those 2 matches, it was interesting to see which teams were really getting those points in. And now we're going to have a look at the second page of these overall standings post match 2, and that is going to be Endgame sitting in 11th place with those 14 points. The War Monsters with 13 points in 12th place. Moz Crew Fatal going to be with those 11 points in slot 13. Elites going to be in 14th place, 9 points. Escapades, 5 points there with 15th position. Hawk in 16th with 4. Jinx Gaming and Night's Watch both with 3 points each in 17 and 18. Then Yeeters with 2 points, and Akatsuki still 0 points and in 20th place. So they're coming in right down there at the bottom.
Yeah.
Well, you're not going to have to pronounce them, at least for now. So you're safe from that for the moment.
But that's only post game 2, because we did see them playing in this third match. So it'd be interesting to see how the points differ. Because we did see a little bit of action from their side. We did see, a little bit of change up. And yeah, man, this is going to be interesting, because I think it's going to be close moving into those, into that top 10, top 5 slots, seeing who it is that we have there. Because we've seen some crazy plays by the teams here, and some, really capitalizing on their position, which is obviously, quite crucial, especially in this game.
Yeah, I mean, we saw some great plays in this final one, but the real question is, which teams placed high enough to really make a difference? Because obviously we're looking for the chicken dinner spot, that top W spot. We're looking for the top 3 and potentially a top 5 and maybe even top 10. See who's really sort of sitting in the upper positions. And it's difficult to tell which one those are going to be. We have, I think it is Unique sitting at the top of the post second match standings. So I can't remember how they did in the third map, but is it enough to keep them at the top? Are they going to be overtaken? That is the question that we're waiting to get answered.
Yeah, I mean, I really think it's going to be close, because they made quite an impact in the first 2 games, as the score is reflecting there, And then of course we had the the Phoenix team coming in that second match and just catapulting themselves up the leaderboard, coming in with 38 points. That is absolutely insane. But looking at it, they're sitting on 40-something points, all right? So if they got 38 points in that one match, it means that the first match for them was a little bit of a tough one. You know, they didn't really place where they'd hoped to. And, I mean, what a comeback that is, though. Coming into that second match, 38 points, flinging themselves up right into second place after the second match. You know, that's something, that's definitely something to talk about, because that's not easy to do, but it's something that we've seen teams do before as well.
Yeah.
You know? We've had teams make the comeback all the way from being sent back to the lobby first and, you know, dominating top 3.
Yeah.
You
that
know?
is one of my favorite examples to use. Definitely one of those memorable moments. But yeah, I'm not too sure what we're going to be seeing here. So we're all just hoping that those results will be some spicy ones indeed. You know, it's going to be difficult to say, I suppose. To wait until we see those results, but I mean, ultimately, we've seen some good games, and that's maybe all that matters. Potentially, unless you're really looking for the juicy goods at the end.
Yeah. We want that little cherry on top, you know, like, you know, just that little piece, and yeah, you know, it's been tough. And one thing that we definitely saw, though, but that I've realized going from the second match into the third one is, like you mentioned, the zone being a little bit more passive, you know, not giving as aggressive shifts around the place. You know, that definitely eases things up for the team. So one thing that we'd definitely like to see is the teams being able to cope the way that they did in this third match, having that, you know, in a zone like we had, for instance, in the second one, which kept on going.
Yeah. I mean, you know, I was saying about controlling the chaotic elements, controlling that kind of stuff, and that's sort of when you want to push for the higher tier levels of gameplay. You know, you're trying to basically, when you get thrown a curveball, you know, the match is like it throws you a flight path on the one side and the zone on the other. Then, you know, you start to have to make the decisions on what to do, how to react to that. You know, you're going to try and move up. You need to get into the zone, and you know, one of the things that we were seeing early on in the first couple of matches was a lot of funneling. You know, the zone was actually in such a way that the teams, they had to move up in the same spot because they were all coming from the same area into the zone, which is, you know, in one place, basically. So they were all moving up this small piece of land, all trying to get in. And that resulted in all the teams being in the same spot, right? So if you want to maybe like augment that into another level by making like better decisions or perhaps different decisions, you would have to be like, okay, we're moving in here. The chances are we know where most of the teams are coming from because we've seen the flight path. So we know where everyone's going to be most likely. So you need to start making a decision. You say, okay, we need to do something else. We need to do something different, right? Maybe we move around, we cross the river, we go up, maybe even potentially a blue zone strat, you know, just on the fly, be like, okay, let's move in this way around. Even though the blue zone's coming in, we'll move out, we'll go in towards the blue zone if it's coming in. Or and basically we're just gonna make sure that we're coming into the zone from a different spot, so we don't get caught up in the chaos. And maybe if you're feeling extra daring, you push yourself into a spot where you can actually sit and capitalize on the people moving up because you know the direction, right? This is obviously all you know, a sort of you have to do a little bit of predictive work, you know, sit there and be like, okay, we think we know what's happening, because obviously you can never be 100% sure. But that's why I was saying, you know, about the whole scouting movement. You know, if you use that sort of mentality of you look at where you're going first, you do a little bit of scouting at the point where you want to be first before you start moving there, you get yourself that information on the place that you're moving into, so you don't get surprised. Because a lot of the time what happens is when teams are forced to move somewhere quickly, they get hella surprised when there's like 50 teams there already, and they're like, oh shit, where do we go now? Because there's nowhere to be. This house that we wanted to be occupied is already being fought over by like 4 teams. Now what? We just add to the pile of teams fighting for this house.
No, just pull up the handbrake and go somewhere else. It's like, nope. I'd rather just move out. But so we've been building up, well, trying to build up to this. There we have it.
To this.
So there we go, our match 3 standings. So we got Empire coming in there with 31 points, Unique Elite 20 points. Then of course the Anarchy Angels with 16. We got the Angry Martians with 14. Phoenix Prodigy sitting on 13, as well as the FBI Conquerors. Then, of course, the War Monsters on 12 points in 7th place. Team Untold, 11. We've got Inc. Slot 22, Patchy,
Yes.
sitting in 9th with 10 points. We got Jinx Gaming there in 10th place, of course, with 9 points. So, this first page is looking interesting, though.
Yeah, it's looking a little bit familiar because I'm seeing Unique sitting at the top there with quite a considerable amount of points, which, yeah, I mean, that's going to be interesting to see going into the post-match 3 standings. And, well, here we go, page 2 of the match 3 standings. We've got Endgame sitting there in 11th place there with 5 points. We've got Moz, Crew Fatal, and the Violets both sitting on 3 points each there in that one, with 12th and 13th place. With Active Gamers, we've got in 14th place with 2 points, as well as the Elites with 2 points. In 15th, Hawk, Akatsuki, Escapades, and Night Watch, all with 1 point each, going from 16th to 19th. And then, of course, the Yeeters in 20th with 0 points.
Yep, well, there we have our standings for that one. So now we're just waiting to get into that last one. And, of course, the overall standings. And, yeah, I wanted to do the drum roll, but, hey, there it is.
Yeah, you've been beaten to it.
Yeah, well, I'm not complaining about that at all. There we go. Empire Gaming coming in with 26 kills in total. Wow. Very, very well done. 68 points. Unique Elite, 18 kills, 65 points. But their placement kills, that's the kicker there, right there. Then, of course, Phoenix in 3rd, coming in with 22 kills, 54 points. So all 3 chicken dinners finishing up in the top 3 spots there.
Yeah. Definitely not surprising to see. I was definitely expecting, these teams that have been finishing pretty strongly off to get up here in the top. Empire Gaming managing to take it by a couple of points. 3 points is a very narrow one, but they managed to put it on the board. And that is the importance of combining both placement and kills, because you could see that they really just made an absolute stretcher with those kills. 26 kills really supplemented all of those points, put them in that lead. And yeah, that's ultimately what got them that fat W, leaving Team Untold with 42 points in 4th place. You got the 4 Angry Martians there with 39 points in 5th. The FBI Conquerors, 35 points in 6th. We've got Inc. Esports there, Team 22 with 34 points in 7th. We've got the Anarchy Angels with 31 in 8th. War Monsters with 25 points in 9th place. And then of the Violets with 22 points in 10th place.
There we go. So, yeah, it's interesting watching also how the kill points, what the kind of the spread is there, between those top placing teams. And moving up into our second page here, Endgame coming in with 19 points in 11th place. The Active Gamers finishing up with 18 points in 12th place. The Master Crew Fatal, of course, finishing in 13th with 14 points. Jinx Gaming with 12 points in 14th place. We've got the Elites in 15th with 11. The Escapades in 16th place with 6 points. The Hawk team there in 17th place with 5 points. Night Watch with 4 points in 18th place. We've got the players there from the Yeeters in 19th with 2. And then, that team is his name. I still can't say. In 20th place.
Akatsuki.
Yeah, that one. What he said. Yeah. There we go. But there we go. Guys, thank you so much for watching and sticking it out with us stretching it out so thin in this last little section there. But we made it. We got to the end all the way through. Yes, sir. We had some pretty good games there. Well done to all the teams. Thank you to everyone that sticked around all the way to the end. I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as we did. Patchy, thank you once again.
Of course.
Always a pleasure.
Yeah. Spicy stuff.
Oh, yeah. Thanks to the production guys. We can't forget about them. They're making all this possible. So yeah, thank you so much. And on that, we are gonna say good night, goodbye, and we shall see you back next week.